Allô? Je devrais peut-être écouter le son, j'ai aucune idée comment ça sonne. Allô, tu m'entends-tu bien? On va attendre Mel, puis on va y aller. Oui! Yay! Mel, fais-moi signe quand t'es là. Je suis toute excitée de finir parce que ça fait plus qu'un an que je l'ai commencé, ce maudit jeu-là. C'était mon stream pour la Saint-Valentin 2019. Donc, mais ça, tu sais, c'était juste à streamer de temps en temps quand on faisait pas de podcast. Puis on est quand même assez assidus sur le podcast, fait que j'ai pas eu l'occasion de... Puis les fois qu'on a pas été assidus sur le podcast, je pense que c'était moi qui pouvait pas. Fait que... ouais, c'est ça, on est pas mal dû pour avoir la fin. J'ai pas eu de mal à avoir des refresh anyway, parce que genre, j'ai dû le refaire, j'ai dû le refaire au complet 3 fois, là. Fait que... ouais, mais ça fait que... on a eu des mauvais endings. En fait, il me manque beaucoup de mauvais endings. Comme si je voudrais avoir toutes les achievements ou les endings, là, faudrait que j'aille faire des dates, puis faire exprès de genre répondre de la marde. Mais j'ai quand même été chanceuse, là. Il y a plusieurs... parce que c'est vraiment pas facile de savoir si tu réponds la bonne affaire ou pas, là. Fait que... j'ai quand même été chanceuse. Là, major letdown puis major hit, ouais, c'est... le major, je l'ai pas tout le temps eu. Pis ça, je me rappelle plus c'est lequel. Anti-hero pis you're stressing me out. Non, Starcross, c'est Trixie. Oui, la vraie fin de Ranzière, allô! On attend juste Melissa, pis dans le fond, c'est vous trois, là. C'est vous trois que j'attendais. C'est vous trois qui l'avez suivi. Fait que... je vais me poker Melissa, je sais pas où. Je l'avais dit tantôt à 8h. Ah. Mais si elle arrive pas bientôt, je vais commencer. Je vais regarder en attendant, ça a l'air de quoi les achievements sur Steam? J'en ai 21 sur 32. C'est sûr qu'il me manque comme la fin. Oh mon dieu, il y a un achievement pour genre Rejected by all of the cats ou ben Reject all of the cats. Mélissa, t'es là, yay! Mais genre, ok, c'est bien chiant. Oh, the doghouse get fired from your job. Oh! Je sais pas comment t'as cet achievement-là. Can't make friends with salad. Sometimes you just got to go for the healthy option. Ah, je pense qu'à un moment donné, tu manges avec... ouais, c'est avec le... celui qui est un nerd, là. Mon dieu, ma mémoire, ça va pas bien. What kind of game do you think this is? C'est l'achievement pour completed the game without dating any cat. Ah, mais ils sont trop durs, les achievements. J'y ferai pas toutes parce que ça implique de refaire... il y en a au moins 3 à date qui impliquent de refaire le jeu au grand complet. Puis c'était quand même long quand je... ouais, c'est excellent comme nom d'achievement. So what kind of game do you think this is? Quelle classe. Quelle classe. Alright, on est prêt. Tout le monde est là. Je sais même plus où est-ce que j'ai arrêté. Je suis dans... je l'ai appelé Pernel. Pourquoi je l'ai appelé Pernel? Alors, parce que l'autre s'appelait Percy, I guess? Mon dieu. Je pense à manquer d'imagination pour les noms. Je suis rendue où? Ah, ok, il manque 2 romances avec la belle Ravenpaw. Je vais mettre mon propre... ouais, alright. Fait que ça, c'est du contenu qu'on avait déjà vu. It's late, well after work hours. Ravenpaw asked me to visit her when Professor Popper finished his shift because she has something important to tell me. The lab is cold and silent. I can just make out the reflection of Ravenpaw's big eyes. I flip the light switch and the room becomes illuminated with a harsh, dazzling brightness that makes me squint. Ouais, ça c'est la description numéro 1 de la lumière dans un laboratoire. I came as soon as I could. Ah, c'est parce qu'on était pas là pour le nom, ça? Ouais, définitivement. I had no idea the professor stays up so late. How does he function on such little sleep? Ça, c'est intéressant. J'espère que la fin va nous donner, genre... Comme, qu'est-ce qui se passe avec le professeur? Puis genre, tu sais, comme clairement que c'est un monstre au sens, genre, philosophique, éthique du terme. Mais c'est probablement aussi un monstre au sens, genre, biologique, parce qu'il a dû tester ses propres produits, puis... Ça va être louche. Keep your voice down, human. We don't want to draw any attention. Maybe we should turn off the lights. Sometimes the caretakers do random patrols. Who? You mean Mr. and Mrs. Marigold? I doubt I'm sure they're dead to the world right now. You'd be surprised. Anyway, enough chin wagging. I have something for you. A gift? Of course not, you div. Where on earth would have I gotten you a gift? The local gift shop? Oh, elle est tellement passif-agressive. Oh, of course, I'm sorry. So what is it? Why? Because I think I can trust you now. I'm taken aback and feel flushed with pride. You can, Ray. I sworn to help you and I won't let you down. So, you want this or not? She's pushed her paw towards me and I realize she has something under it. My stomach lurches as I worry it may be a spider or a fly. I hope she's not expecting me to eat it. Ah, je me rappelle de ça, ouais. On va essayer d'aller plus vite. What is it? Don't know. Thought you might know. She lifts her paw. I'm relieved to see that nothing is moving, and on closer inspection I realize what it is. Oh, that's called a key. It's used to open things that are locked, like doors or safes. You really are touched. I know what a key is. I meant you might be able to figure out what it opens, but I'm losing hope by the second. Oh, forgive me. Well, where'd you get it? Best not to ask. I'm serious, Ray. This key could be important, and if I know where we got it from, it'll be easier to work out what it opens. Ravenpaw eyes me skeptically. I thought you trusted me. Fine. I got it from Mrs. Marigold. You mean Mora, the caretaker's wife? She's not the caretaker's wife, you cretin. She's the caretaker as much as he is. Yes, of course. But the key, Ravenpaw? She came to clean my cage last night, too lazy to take me out of it for— Ah oui, je me rappelle de ça. Of course, and Mr. Marigold came in and gave her the key. She put it here. Ravenpaw indicates the corner of her cage. Because her hands were full, that they had a huge argument, and while they were shouting at each other, I used my ninja skills to hide the key under my paw. That was that. She didn't notice? She was so worked up about him that she clean forgot about it. Left without even bothering to refill my water bowl. Aw. So what makes you think this key is so important? Because when he handed it over to her, it's your turn. I'm fed up. He said, it's your turn. I'm fed up of being the one who always has to do his dirty work. Whose dirty work? The professor. Professor Prosperos. C'est rare qu'on voit son... Ouais, c'est rare qu'on voit son prénom. Pooper! Oh, Popper. Ah, je pensais que c'était son prénom. Je pensais que c'est Prospero Popper. En tout cas, ça fit. Of course, look, I've really got to hurry back to my tent now, or I'll be a wreck in the morning, but thank you for this, Ravenpaw. I'll find out what this key opens, I promise. You'd better. Haha. C'était pas une belle date, mais c'est de l'exposition. Alright. Ah, je sais pourquoi j'ai pas continué, parce que j'avais plus de recon, parce que c'est ce truc-là qui unlockait la dernière recon. That's why. Recon 18 to Secret Gift. I'm passing Professor Popper's tent on my way to the lab just as he comes dashing out. We collide, sending both of us sprawling. Ah oui, c'est vrai. Puis il cherche sa fucking clé, je pense. Oh goodness, Professor, are you okay? I'm up on my feet instantly and offering him a hand. Not sure that I am, Purnell. Now I'm worried I've injured my boss. Is that a sackable offense? Here, let me take a look. Where does it hurt? I'm kneeling down beside him, trying to feel his legs. Ça, je pense que c'est peut-être une sackable offense, par exemple. C'est ça de tripoter les jambes de ton boss. Même par inquiétude, c'est peut-être un peu too much. What on earth are you doing? I'm sorry, I thought you were. He cuts over me. I'm fine. Give me some space, and then you can help me search. Have you lost something? Mm-hmm. Une clé. Mm-hmm. Where did you lose it? He gives me a withering look. If I knew the answer to that, the key wouldn't be lost now, would it, Purnell? I last had it in my tent, I think, but it's certainly not in there now. I thought perhaps I might have dropped it out here somewhere. Ouais, dans la jungle. C'est dans la best place pour perdre ses clés. I'm happy to help you look, Professor. It's gotta be here somewhere. Là, on va chercher comme des épées. Parce que c'est nous qui avons la clé. Yep. What the key is for? There's no reason for you to know that. Oh, okay. I was just simply trying to get a picture in my mind. Big, small, silver, brass. I don't think there'll be a lot of keys to choose from, Purnell. Any key you find out how to... Genre, il veut même pas me dire comme elle a l'air de quoi la clé pour que ça me donne des indices de qu'est-ce qu'elle ouvre, là. Of course, sir. I'm sure you have chores to attend to. I wouldn't want to hold you up. The professor waves me away as he continues to search the grass around the entrance to his tent. Clearly, this key is important. As I make my way to the lab, I begin to get an idea. It's a bit left field, but this key is clearly securing something important, something that the professor doesn't want me to know about, and that makes me very determined to uncover what it might be. Donc on va faire un double de la clé, right? Ça, je comprends pas comment tu peux juste prendre du matériel au laboratoire pour faire comme moi, je vais faire un double de clé qui va avoir l'air tellement comme le vrai que le professeur va le prendre dans ses mains puis il va prendre, il va penser que... En plus, on voyait l'image de la clé puis elle a comme une espèce de top en rubber. En tout cas, allons regarder. Donc on y envoie un message. I found a key in the lab. Could it be the one you lost? Send pic, please. Ouais, quand je sais pas. Quand je reçois ça par message, je deviens tout de suite un peu genre... I send the professor a photo of the key. Be right there. Uh-oh. He was happy with the pic. I don't have to wait long. The professor is with me in seconds. Well done, my dear. Where is it? C'est comme... Là, t'as un my dear. Genre... Comme... Ça, tantôt, il était comme... Non, t'as pas besoin de savoir. Bye. Puis là, tout d'un coup, on a un my dear. En tout cas, double standards. Ah, avec une imprimante 3D, ouais, mais... Tu peux pas imprimer... Genre... Elle va pas être en métal si tu l'imprimes avec une imprimante 3D. Comme, je sais pas, j'ai l'impression que, comme... Ça prendrait une maudite bonne imprimante 3D pis une maudite belle job de peinture pour me faire passer une clé qui va avoir l'air d'être du métal. Je sais pas, mais genre qui fonctionne. En plus, comme le but, c'est même pas qu'elle fonctionne. Le but, c'est qu'elle fonctionne pas, là. On va voir son... Ah, tu te gardes le double. Ah, ça, c'est pas pire, par exemple. On va faire... C'est écrit ici, genre, j'y donne la nouvelle. Mais ça aurait été une vraiment meilleure idée. Mais en fait, ouais, on veut pas qu'il l'ouvre, par exemple. Fait que c'est ça le plan. On lui donne la nouvelle clé. Il check. Puis il est comme, ouais, c'est ça, c'est direct ça. Et il part. Fait que là, on a mandaté Kibbles. Ah, Kibbles, c'est ça que je cherchais tantôt. Pour le suivre. Pour savoir qu'est-ce qu'il essaie d'ouvrir. That was quick! Quite funny, really. He put the key in the lock and it wouldn't turn. He got more and more red in the face, then he threw the key into a drawer and stormed off. So, what was he trying to unlock? Oh, it was the big metal thing in the supplies shed. Really, but the cabinets in there aren't normally locked. In fact, the keys are left in the doors. He wasn't trying to open that thing, he wanted to open the thing inside it. Oh, there's something else in there. Yeah, but I couldn't see what it was because he shooed me away when I got up close. C'était pas louche du tout. Well, I think we ought to go check it ourselves, don't you, comrade? Follow me, I'm the leader. And he's slinking comically close to the floor, I suppress a laugh. C'est un vrai ninja. Alright. We're just out of the lab when the professor calls to me. Purnell, false alarm, I'm afraid. You need to keep those keen eyes peeled. Oh, what a shame! I thought our little mystery was solved. En tout cas, au moins, une chance que ce personnage-là est quand même une bonne menteuse. Parce que sinon, ça aurait chié. Never mind though, I'm sure it will turn up eventually. Let's hope so. I'm off to speak with Zane. If you need me, I'll be down at the jetty. Yes, sir. See you at lunch. He strides off with purpose. The gods of Halagard are smiling down on us. Mission on. I double-check there's no one around before ducking into the supply shed. After Kibbles points out the cupboard that the professor was opening, I post him on lookout duty by the door. He's in his element, pacing back and forth and doing quick gotcha maneuvers. It doesn't take long to work out that the filing drawer at the bottom of the cabinet is what this key belongs to. I turn it in the lock and hey presto! Inside are lots of hanging files and I have no idea what I'm even looking for, so I take one at random. There are diagrams of 2 different cats. Oh. La musique s'est arrêtée, c'est d'habitude là. Je me rappelle, il me semble vraiment, ça c'est inquiétant. One of them is labeled Project Felix, subject 26, and the other Island Cat, number 38. There are some research notes in addition to the diagrams. I start to read. Day 215, subject 26 and number 38 were introduced today. Number 26 was immediately aggressive. The 2 cats had to be separated before serious injury occurred. Both cats are usually very docile with others of their own kind. Perhaps Island Cats and Project Felix subjects are sufficiently different that they view each other as a threat? I flip ahead a few entries. Day 234. Subjects continue to attack each other on sight. Attempts to breed the 2 animals naturally did not seem to be working. C'est sûr que s'ils saillissent la face. Artificial insemination was attempted today. Initial signs are promising. Day 301. According to normal cat gestation period, the subject should have given birth by now. It seems as though the addition of the Project Felix subject has extended this time. Day 350. Overnight, number 38 gave birth to a single kitten. The animal is small, black, and sickly. It shows remarkable intelligence in our tests. Day 354. Attempts to introduce the kitten to number 38 have ended in failure. Both the mother and father are inherently aggressive towards their offspring. The remainder of the notes all detail the increasingly horrifying experiments performed on subject 26, number 38, and their kitten. Eventually, the adult cats die as a result of the experiments. Day 450, after the death of 26, the decision has been made to shut down this facility. 6 is not pleased with that. So 6, c'est probablement un humain, là, genre le professeur Popper dans sa... on voit qu'il y avait de la correspondance avec d'autres gens qui sont probablement comme ses associés dans son entreprise louche. Puis il se donnait des noms de code qui étaient juste comme un chiffre avec un single digit, me semble. Fait que 6, j'imagine que c'est un de ses associés. Je sais pas si supérieur ou inférieur. 6 is not pleased with what she has read in our reports. The offspring will be moved to the main laboratory near the beach for observation. I am trembling as I use my catalog to take photos of more of the documents before I lock everything away. I stumble outside where Kibbles is opposite on his hind legs as if standing to attention. All good, Sarge! I can't answer Kibbles. The handwriting on these notes is eerily familiar and my mind is racing. So many signs, suspicions, all coming to light. I daren't say a word out loud, but I can feel a sense of dread creeping into my heart. Kibbles starts to stare at me, concerned. I'm fine, Kibbles, I'm fine. Aww, c'était Ravenpaw. Donc on va finir... Oh non, on va se reposer. L'antidote à 95,8%, hein? You had a lovely nap. Yay! Alright, on va finir la romance avec Ravenpaw. En espérant qu'on se plante pas, ça serait vraiment dommage. Mais on est probablement... Je viens d'avoir réussi 2 sur 3, là. Oh my god, si ça chie parce que je prends pas les bonnes réponses, là, je pense que je quitte le jeu sans sauver. Oh non, il save automatique. Fuck. C'est mieux de marcher. So, what shall we read today? Peut-être qu'il n'y a pas de choix dans cette date-là non plus, je me rappelle plus. I flicked through the little book of poetry. Ravenpaw and I have gone through most of the poems. We're dragging them out to one a day now because we're dreading finishing it all together. We've got Alone, Love Sonnet, Bonnie Boat, and Hunger. Ravenpaw looks less engaged than usual. She usually perks up when I get the poetry book out, but she's sitting hangdog in a corner of her cage, shrugging at each title. Je présume que hangdog est aussi une expression british que l'on ne connaît pas. I think we should read a happy poem today, something to cheer us up. How about Bonnie Boat? Ravenpaw rolls her eyes. She hates the silly poems and prefers the dark, brooding ones about stormy seas and missing home. Just leave it. What do you mean, Ray? I don't want to listen to poetry. Ah, je vais me rappeler de sa voix, là. It's a futile distraction from reality. This is a first. I'm not sure how to react. I thought she enjoyed our reading time. Ray, is there something you want to talk about? Ravenpaw lets out a heavy sigh. You wouldn't understand. I shrug. Try me. No, you won't understand, because I don't even understand. I feel so deeply, yet I can't articulate it at all. It makes me want to scream, cry, laugh, sleep. I feel... ugh. Don't waste your time with me. You've got big, important human things to do. You don't want to be babysitting a cat like me. Ray, I love spending time with you. As soon as I wake up, I feel excited to see you, read poems with you, discuss things with you. You're so unique. You have an amazing insight and a delightfully wicked sense of humor. I'm not babysitting you, I'm your friend. I want you to talk to me when you're feeling down, Ray, because you deserve to be happy, especially after all you've been through here. Ravenpaw still looks frustrated, but she mumbles. I guess I know which poem I'd like you to read now. Maybe Elle will be able to say it better than I can. Read me Love Sonnet. Okay. I lack the words to say the things I feel. My tongue is slow and of the humdrum kind, and though my eyes were erstwhile keen as steel, you have eclipsed the sun and made me blind. I do not see the blight that you bewail, the fuzz of fur so soft against my skin. I will not shun the sweet curl of your tail, nor shut the door and never let you in. Our cursed fate has dealt us bitter blows, and yet methinks that mine are worse by far, for as the nights get colder your fur grows, while I am left adrift with no lodestar. Is there one would laugh and not feel pity for this poor wretch whose love is turning kitty? Oh wow, it sounds like Elle was in love with a werewolf. I wonder how that worked. I knew you wouldn't get it. I feel like I'm hurting her feelings without intending to, or understanding how. Explain it to me, Ray. It's not rocket science, I mean. It's just... love is love. You can't choose who you fall in love with, right? If only you could, things would be much easier. But sometimes love just creeps up and hijacks you, and no matter how much you don't like it and try to get away from it, once it's got you, and there's no breaking free. You make it sound awful then. Well, it is, if you're not sure of the person you're in love with. But it can be amazing too. Obstacles that felt insurmountable before suddenly feel insignificant. Things you thought you'd never be able to do or done. Poems you used to hate become love songs that sing to your soul. Human, cat, werewolf, elder, whatever. Love does not discriminate. It will not be controlled or boxed up neatly to suit our prejudices. So we have to just grow a pair and come clean and see where it takes us. So, I love you. What are you gonna do about that? There's a long silence while I gather my thoughts, but eventually I'm able to say I love you! Oh, Ravenpaw, I thought it was just me. I didn't even hope that you would feel the same way. I know we've become close, but I resign myself to thinking we could never be more than friends, that you wouldn't accept me. Quel choix difficile. Indeed. Ouais, c'est vrai, dans le fond, la dernière date, c'est tout le temps genre je t'aime ou je ne t'aime pas. Je sais pas que c'est... J'ai jamais, en 3 playthroughs, j'ai jamais essayé. Non, je t'aime pas finalement. Je sais pas ce que ça fait. You really do go on, don't you? I blush with happiness. I suppose we both do a bit. So, I guess we're stuck with each other then. I guess we are. And she smiles, the brightest smile I have ever seen on her beautiful face. Haha. Là, il va nous rester la dernière recherche. 98,6%. Yes. I am ready. My body's ready. Research 18, scrubbing. Avec un scalpel qui dégouline. Returning after a morning gathering specimens, I decide to take the side route into camp so that I can check up on the kittens. I'm stopped in my tracks to see the large rearing pen is empty, and upon further inspection, the smaller transitory crates nearby are also empty. I'm surprised and disappointed that the professor has released my grey kitten without me. I was so clear that I wanted to be there to see him off. Ah, Purnell, what perfect timing! I was worried you may not be back. Pauvre. Ah, parce que c'est tout le temps le dernier jour que genre... Ouais, ok. C'est tout le temps le dernier jour que genre les assistants de recherche ils s'en vont dans la forêt, ils réalisent que leurs yeux sont rendus genre félins avec une fente pis qu'ils ont une mini queue pis plein de poils pis ils font bon ben fuck off, moi je vis dans le bois pour le restant de ma vie. Fait que pour moi c'est pour ça que le professeur il est comme ça fait 3 semaines qu'il est ici, pour moi il est dû pour se transformer en chat et décalisser. The professor has snuck up behind me, making me jump. Thank goodness! I thought I'd missed him being released. Are we doing it now? I'm afraid not. In fact, I have some difficult news for you. I feel my stomach lurch. What is it, Professor? Has something happened to Plumpy? Plumpy? I did warn you not to get too attached, my dear. Naming them isn't always a good idea. It all becomes so very personal. However, I fall prey to the same temptations myself. They really are so seductive. Which makes situations like this one all the more impossible, but I'm hoping you'll be able to help this time. Yes, of course, Professor, whatever you need. Your little Plumpy has run into a spot of bother, I'm afraid. His tests have shown that his kidneys aren't working properly, and although we have tried all the usual treatments, he doesn't seem to be responding well. We think his only chance to receive a donor kidney from another cat... Oh oui, je me rappelle qu'est-ce qui se passe. C'est fucking terrible. Ah, je me rappelle. But before that can happen, we shall need to remove his native kidneys and place him on dialysis for a while to see if he's a viable subject for transplant. C'est sûr que dans une île déserte comme ça, genre, on a une machine de dialyse qui marche pour les chats. Yep. Oh, I'm shocked to hear that, Professor. He seems so well. He still seems very well. Sadly, with the very young ones, this type of problem overwhelms them so rapidly it's often too late to do anything by the time we even know they're unwell. So you'll help me with surgery? I believe you've reached that stage of your veterinary training that you can assist. Of course, yes, it would be an honor. Go and sort yourself out then, and we shall meet in the lab in 30 minutes. It's hard to take it all in. I feel nervous but also excited to be taking part in life-saving surgery. The stuff I've done in college seems such a long time ago now. I hope I don't mess up. C'est pas nous qui va mess up. The professor and I have scrubbed in and are checking. We have all the necessary equipment laid out and ready to use. Plumpy has already been shaved and had pre-med, so he's sleeping peacefully. Oh, chaton. I must say it's a luxury to have another pair of hands, Purnell. I usually have to do this sort of thing alone. Je sais pas pourquoi, genre, il insiste qu'on soit là au pire. Il est tellement fait de conneries derrière notre dos. Genre, on dirait que c'est juste cruel qui est comme, dans cette fois-ci, tu vas être là avec moi. It's a privilege to help, sir. I'm sure I will learn a lot from you. A lot. So, shall we begin? The next half hour passes in a flash, sorting out anesthesia, intubation, and finally the incisions, which will determine whether this little chap will live or die. I'm completely awed by Professor Popper's skill and professionalism. Everything is done to the highest standard. Finally, we remove the native kidneys, place them in jars of preserving fluid for further testing, and get ready to stitch him up. But that's not what happens. Instead of stitching him, I see the professor take his scalpel and cut an artery. I cannot trust my eyes and think I must have imagined it, but suddenly, all hell breaks loose. We have a bleed! We have a bleed! We do. I have no idea what to do. I'm frozen to the spot. I want to scream, I saw you cut him! But I cannot make a sound. Parnell, move! We need to stem the bleeding. Yes, I'm sorry. And suddenly I'm doing all the right things, but I feel as though I'm outside myself looking on. The scene is tragic. So much blood from such a tiny thing. Half of it is over me, in my eyes, in my hair. And then it is still again, and we've lost him. I'm sorry, my dear. I did all we could. We did all we could. Did we? But what happened? A textbook hemorrhage, I'm afraid. It happens sometimes when you're least expecting it. There's nothing can be done in a situation like that. The one good thing we have left is to take the rest of his organs and put them to good use. To help other kittens. Really? I can't believe what I'm hearing. You want to harvest his other organs? So that he didn't die in vain. It would be wrong not to, don't you think? I'm speechless. I need to get away. Of course, I understand if it's all too much for you. Perhaps you'd like to go and lie down for a bit. I can carry on here. I'm used to it. Je comprends juste pas pourquoi qu'il nous oblige à assister à ça, là. Fucker. I don't remember leaving, but I'm grateful to be alone in my tent. On est-tu à 100%? On est-tu à 100%? Je sais pas si on va le voir. Chapter 6. I'm creeping around late at night again. I seem to be doing this a lot more lately because my covert work on the antidote has reached a crucial and very exciting stage. J'espère peut-être acquérir de nouveaux alliés. Ouais, je sais pas, parce que j'ai quand même l'impression qu'il est quand même au courant qu'on est comme de connivence avec les chats, là. On dirait qu'il est tout le temps... Je sais pas, tu sais, il nous dit rien justement parce qu'il est comme... Ouais, d'habitude, mes assistants, comme, ils sont de connivence avec les chats. Alright, on est rendu dans le nouveau stock! In fact, right now, I'm trying to stop my hands from trembling long enough for me to place a slide under the microscope. The results will tell me whether or not I need to go back to the drawing board. I hold my breath before lowering my head to the eyepiece and slowly turn the fine focus knob. I can hardly believe what I'm seeing. The cell movement is exactly what I've been looking for since I began this research. I check. I recheck. I check again. And then... Eureka! Keep your voice down! Oh, it's me. I freeze. You mustn't attract attention. B? What on earth are you doing here? I'm always here. I've been supervising your research since you started. You've been spying on me? Yes. But how? I'm always so careful to make sure I'm not followed. As I said, I'm always here. But why? I have a vested interest in the... Oh, c'est comme une erreur. I have a vested interest in the outcome. So does everyone, but none of the other cats scare me half to death in the middle of the night stalking me. None of the other cats are going to be your test subject. Test subject? No, I wouldn't allow that, not until... I'm not volunteering, I'm insisting. B, I haven't even tried it on myself yet. I don't want to put you in any danger. I've been in danger from the day Zane and I arrived on this island. This isn't danger, this is hope. Zane? Oh, Zane and I... Oh, elle est arrivée avec la première team, j'imagine? Parce que l'agent de sécurité, il doit être là depuis le début. Il est comme tout le temps là, peu importe le chapitre que t'es, fait que... Je crois que c'était pas genre sa blonde. Ça serait awkward. I'll answer your questions while we're waiting for the antidote to take effect on me. I see the determination in her eyes and realize that there's no use in arguing. I begin measuring a dose of the precious serum. J'espère qu'on a fait en masse pour tout le monde. I've made my way to Trixie's cave for the final day of B's antidote trial. Oh, ça prend plusieurs jours, d'accord. It seems like no time at all since she cornered me in the lab and insisted I use her as my test subject. Yet, watching her transform and listening to her memories as they've gradually returned makes it feel like a lifetime ago. Ok, fait qu'ils ont perdu leur mémoire en se transformant en chat. Puis ils retrouvent. We've become close during this time, B and me. The irritable little cat who used to call me Turntail is now a real friend. She has confided in me about the life she used to have with Zane, their journey here, and the awful betrayal that wrenched them apart. Uh-oh. It's felt like a privilege watching her gradually lose her feline characteristics and transform back into this beautiful human. We've had to adapt as she's reverted gradually, bringing in more and more human comforts. The pretty little cave now looks almost like a bedroom. Zane has been really helpful in finding the things we need and carrying them here. Really? Est-ce qu'il a vu sa femme à moitié chat pis il a fait that's great. Pis il l'avait pas sauvé avant, genre? Fucker? C'est weird. He's been so protective of Bee and her little hideout, wanting to stand guard day and night. Ah, ok, le betrayal, c'est peut-être pas lui qui l'a trahi. C'est peut-être genre... Ah! Le gardien de sécurité est venu genre ici avec sa blonde, puis le professeur il a fait ça a l'air de quelqu'un que je pourrais utiliser pour transformer en chat, ça? Ah. Okay, so he's been so protective of Bee and her little hideout, wanting to stand guard day and night. I've had to force him away at times so that no suspicion is aroused at base camp. Ouais, ça serait un petit peu suspicious. Then, as Bee's physical appearance started to change, she banished him from seeing her. He was upset at first. Haven't we spent enough time apart? Please try to understand. I don't want you seeing me in transition. I want to come to you as all or nothing. Ouais, mais comme... I mean, I guess que ça serait peut-être un peu traumatisant, genre. Eventually he agreed that they would not see each other until the last dose takes effect and the transition is complete. And that happens today. I'm so excited for the pair of them. I can't imagine what it's been like being apart for such a long time. Ouais, je sais pas si on sait combien de temps exactement. Hello? Oh, hey! Neko. Hi, I've been ready for ages. I thought you'd never arrive. Sorry, Bee. I couldn't get away sooner, but I have it. I pulled the vial from my pocket. Your final dose, although to be honest, you look fully human to me now. I feel it too. What time is he coming? She looks so anxious, I want to hug her, but I know by now that's not her style, so I just hand over the medicine. Zane, any minute I think. Better get on with it then, here goes everything. She pours the liquid down her throat with a shudder. Faudrait peut-être dû mettre la saveur dedans. Hello? Anyone home? Oh, it's him! What should I do? Invite him in, of course. Shall I leave? Not just yet. Stay for now. Okay. I make myself as invisible as possible, tucked into a dark corner. Come in. Zane enters and the two of them stand staring at each other for what seems like an eternity until... You look older. I watched it happen, but I guess I must be a bit of a shock for you. You look, It's okay, don't worry. She lowers her gaze, her shoulders fall. Beautiful. Aww. He steps towards her and takes her hand gently in his. Neko, my beautiful Neko, if you weren't my wife already, I'd ask you to marry me. Bee, Neko rather, looks up into Zane's eyes and they kiss. Sorry, but I need to get on. The pair break apart self-consciously. Of course, yes, we need to make our plan. Final adjustments and checks. Zane is laughing. Nicole looks at him uncertainly. Il avait l'air tellement mean, Zane, avant. On dirait que je comprends pas pourquoi il a continué à travailler là. Même si, genre, ils ont pris sa blonde puis ils l'ont catifié. Tu sais, je veux dire, il avait l'air justement comme cynique puis amer, mais il a pas fait genre... Comme, je sais pas, il a pas fait comme une rébellion ou... Il a pas assassiné personne. Je sais pas. That's my Neko, efficient as ever. I thank the gods, the stars, and most of all you, Purnell, for bringing her back to me. But sadly, now we have to part again. Is everything set up on the mainland? Oh, how about Bob and Joe? I have the address of the safe house. Bob will be expecting a large cargo tonight for discreet passage. Bob and Joe, je pense, c'est ceux qui travaillent sur le bateau, qui fait l'approvisionnement. Puis un safe house, ben peut-être parce qu'elle a peut-être été déclarée morte depuis genre 3 ans. Oops. You know what to do when you're safely home, Neko? Check! I will set up a meeting with a law firm and have a standard property deed drawn up. Oh. I will then make arrangements for a meeting with an independent news agency with no information, but a little bit of bait. From then on, I will wait to hear from you. Oh, we're bringing them down. It won't be long, my love. It certainly won't. We plan to set the wheels in motion in 24 hours. That should give you plenty of time to be safely tucked away. Don't forget, we need a photo. Zane hands me his catalog and puts his arm around Neko. Say cheese! To catch a rat. I leave them to prepare for Neko's departure while I rendezvous with the other cats about the details of our plan. Ouais, fait qu'on a comme pas commencé à décatifier les autres chats, par exemple. Ils seront pas comme complètement humains avant qu'on commence ce merveilleux plan pour bring down the company. Non, c'est ça, sont encore toutes en chat! Shh, Gibbles! We don't want to alert the professor of anything suspicious. I want the element of surprise to throw him off guard. Ouais, je pense qu'on est devant la tente du professeur, je pense que c'est ça le background. Okay, are we all ready and certain of our parts? Yes, sir. Aye, aye, Captain. I'll meet you there. Ravenpaw darts off into the darkness. Oh, do get on with it. This is eating into my beauty sleep. Here goes then. Take your positions. All the cats scatter in different directions and I take a deep breath before bursting into the tent of a sleeping Professor Popper. Mon Dieu, qu'est-ce qu'on fait? Je pensais qu'on allait y aller par la façon moins non violente. Help, Professor, help! Ah, ok, donc finalement on y va avec un decoy. What? What is it? What's going on? Professor, you must come with me! Quickly, there's no time to dress, they've all escaped! Zane's let all the cats go and he's raving like a madman. What? He's running off towards the elders! We must stop him! Good lord, wait for me! Quel drôle de plan. I've begun to sprint! Hurry! And he's sprinting right after me. I have a small torch, which is just bright enough to light the way. If he wants to run safely, he's going to have to keep up. Faster, sir! I think I can see him! I'm on your heels! We must catch him! What's gotten into the man? He was ranting about his wife, I don't understand. Perhaps I do. Faster, Burnell! We've covered ground fast and are almost at the danger zone. Coming to the danger zone. C'est la dernière fois que je vais pouvoir le dire, probablement, fait que je sais pas. Danger zone! I grabbed a quake stone in my pocket and cut the beam of my torch. Oh, qu'est-ce que ça faisait, la quake stone? J'ai oublié. Damn, no battery! Be careful here. We're near the Elder territory. Don't worry, Professor. I know this place like the back of my hand by now. Follow me. And he does. Right into the danger zone. No! But it's too late. The vibration has hit and he's out for the count. C'est ça que ça faisait, la quake stone? Je sais plus. Mais pourquoi ça m'affecte pas moi? Je suis confuse. I watch as the large cats rouse themselves and turn on him, slowly beginning to circle. Oh my god. Je dirais, il mérite la merde, là, mais ça a l'air... Ouf. As soon as the first bite happens, Ravenpaw emerges from the shadows and orders the elder cats to retreat. Oh, she can order the elder cats. Alright. Respecting her half-elder bloodline, they obey her without question. Je pensais que ça attaquait à vue. C'est ça que ça disait dans son document, en tout cas. I have just enough time to whistle for Zane to come and help me drag the unconscious professor safely out of the danger zone. Fait que c'est ça notre blackmail. Il va se transformer en chat pis nous autres on va tenir l'antidote genre na. He's light and it's easy for Zane to carry him. We make our way to the beach where the other cats are waiting. Il semble qu'il squeeze là. Combien de chats qu'il va avoir là? Ok, littéralement tout le monde. Has he been bitten? Yes, he's been bitten, all right. Look at his hand. The professor begins to rouse. Where am I? What happened? On lui fait subir exactement le même sort que les 6 assistants avant lui. You're one of us now. Hush, Gibbles. One thing at a time. What? How? I can hear them! That's a good thing. You'll see. Good to have you on board, fella. Well, that remains to be seen. Will someone please tell me what on earth is going on? The professor has sat up and I notice how frail he is. Here, sir. I drape my sweatshirt around his shoulder. Il mérite pas, girl. Il mérite pas. It can get quite chilly out here at night. That seems to calm him. I knew you were smarter than the others. How much have you worked out? Oh, everything, honey. Well, actually, I wasn't the smartest. I think that honor goes to B. B? I don't. Zane has put a picture of his wife on his catalog screen and holds it in front of the professor. Have you forgotten her already? The professor looks genuinely sad. Ah, yes, Neko. She was very talented. It was tragic what happened to her. But I don't see what it has to do with... Take a closer look at the photo, sir. Notice the date. But that's not possible. All things are possible, Professor, if you want them enough. The date is from this week, but she's... human. Again. Which means... There's a pause as he looks from cat to cat. Oh, really? I thought he was supposed to be one of the greatest minds of the 21st century. There's an antidote! He looks at me with admiration. Congratulations, my dear, this is incredible news! Non, tu vas pas essayer de commercialiser mon antidote, little fucker. But really, this whole charade was a bit unnecessary. Too much even for my love of the theater. Shall we go to the lab and you can walk me through the process? He's beginning to stand until Zane places a large hand on his shoulder that pins him to the spot. Not so fast, mate. You need to listen first. We have a proposition for you. You know, Zane, it was never personal about your wife. I liked her, I like you, but I needed insurance. Oh, il a blackmailé toutes ces années en gardant son minou, sa femme transformée en minou. Ah! That brings us rather deftly to the business at hand. Purnell, would you care to debrief? When Neko offered herself... insisted more like... She's very determined when she wants something. When Neko insisted on being a guinea pig for the antidote trials that I was working on, we discovered that, along with her physical restoration, her memories also returned. Memories that were rather incriminating for you, sir. The main points of intel being that this whole setup is owned by a cosmetics company, and contrary to the propaganda about animal welfare, you're practicing the most barbaric torture and extermination of cats. Really? This is ridiculous! Why would I? I don't wish to sound like a braggart, but I'm highly regarded, award-winning scientist. I could go anywhere, do anything. Why on earth would I choose to spend my talents on lipstick and powder? Possibly because you couldn't work anywhere else. Didn't the government restrict your prerogative to choose how you spend your talents? Oh wait. Not to mention the lure of big bucks. Yes, wealth is very seductive, and it brings so much power. And you like power, don't you, Professor? A whole island of your own. It must feel like playing God. That would appeal to a certain type of personality. A psycho! A narcissist. Let's not start name-calling. Let's not get bogged down in why. The facts are plain. You may have come here in the beginning with good intentions, but over time the goalposts have shifted, lines have been crossed, and you're now so steeped in evil that you no longer recognize it as such. Bravo, Kara. Nicely said. Okay, let's cut to the chase here. What do I have to do to get out of this intact? I refuse to be thrown under the bus for that rich, spoilt brat. C'est qui le rich, spoilt brat? Oh, Kitty Fisher, I presume? C'est qui ça? C'est qui ça? It's all her doing! I'm an innocent pawn in all of this. C'est une de ses collaboratrices, peut-être? Hardly innocent. Caught the posturing. The cat's out of the bag, Professor. What do you want? We need you to get Kitty Fisher onto this island. Oh, shit. Impossible. She only comes here twice a year and her next visit is over a month away. Find a way to make it happen. Pour moi, c'est genre... genre la personne qui le finance, là. Ça va être la personne qui a envoyé des lettres de blackmail pour genre dire comme tu vas me produire des résultats and shit. Tell her something that captures her interest. Make her an offer she can't refuse. How is not our problem. You can work it out. You're a highly regarded, award-winning scientist after all. Ouch. So, what's your plan? You don't need to know that. Only you're part in it. We could tell you, but then we'd have to kill you. The less you know, the better for you. So, are you going to help us? There's a moment where you could hear a feather drop, and then the professor exhales loudly. You know, it really is a relief, truth be told. I've been half praying for this day to come. For someone as bright as you, Purnell, to arrive on our poor, corrupted little piece of heaven and restore things to their rightful order. Is that a yes? Is he saying he's with us? Yes, he's going to do everything in his power to help us. Isn't that so, Professor? Quite so. Oh, alright. Je sais pas pourquoi le jeu il save tout le temps parce qu'on prend vraiment plus de décisions. Oh, oh, oh. You have done very well, Purnell. You have completed everything necessary to bring about a successful conclusion to this mystery. Therefore, you ought to be justly rewarded. Sit back, relax, and allow us to channel the key players from the history of this adventure so that they may tell you their story. Aww. Oh, c'est Kitty Fisher. The story begins with me, I suppose. It's a common enough start. I was a performer at the Pussy Playhouse. I'd been on the stage since I was a child, learning my craft. How to put together a dream with powders and paints and everything available to create a perfect fantasy. That's what it's all about, you see. We peddle fantasies and reality is the kiss of death to magic. I was a master magician, and it paid off. My God, je m'attendais à une businesswoman, genre vraiment evil, là. Je m'attendais à une Cruella de Vil. My name began to creep up the list of performers on the posters until, at last, at the age of just 16, I was heading the bill, the toast of London. I could create such an illusion that I captured the hearts of all the gentlemen who came to drool over me. Ah, juste 16 ans, c'est un petit peu... c'est un petit peu jeune. There were admirers by the dozen. 20 white roses sent to my dressing room with a handwritten card, a request for an audience, an invitation to dinner, was a normal part of my life. Who was I to refuse such attention? Even for a star as bright as mine, the monetary rewards were small, and a wealthy gentleman caller could supplement my humble wages for a whole year with the right sort of gifts. We all understood— oh mon Dieu, sa face a l'air tellement pleased. We all understood the rules, each of them wanting to touch that elusive dream. Each also needing to get away and hide their disappointment. The moment they did, and it dissolved before their eyes. By the time he came along, I was an old hand. I knew the game and expected nothing. I had no reason to think that this one would be any different from the others, and so I met the famous man they called Daddy Purse Strings. Les statues avaient des gros seins. Crap, j'ai même pas remarqué. Damn. What I hadn't planned for or could not have foreseen was how quickly I would fall, so deeply and without reservation. C'est pas la bonne époque. Ouais, je pense que c'est peut-être la même époque que le bateau de genre que le bateau s'est écrasé sur l'île. Je sais pas. Parce qu'il y avait de quoi dans l'affaire des produits qu'ils fabriquaient qui gardaient comme la jeunesse éternelle aussi. Fait que je pense que c'est là qu'on s'enligne dans le mystère. What I hadn't planned for, could not have been foreseen, was how quickly I would fall so deeply and without reservation. I had met the man with whom I would happily spend the rest of my days, but I needed to be sure he felt the same way about me. Not her, the captivating illusion, but me, the real Kitty Fisher. Ok. J'espère qu'on va voir les origines de Professeur Popper. Ah oui, indeed, hein, les statues... les statues ont des seins gros comme leur tête. Ooh, c'est Daddy Purse Strings. The first time I saw her, I couldn't move. She paralyzed me with her beauty and grace, like nothing I had seen before. Her voice was the sound of heaven. It filled my head until there was no room for anything but her. I wooed her, of course, but this wasn't like the others. She asked for nothing, never made demands, never even accepted the gifts I offered as enticements. I became a slave to my desire for her. Oui, c'est ça l'amour de sa vie. Lol. When she asked me to join her in her dressing room after a show one evening, I almost fell running down the corridors to find her. When she let me in, she said she had something to show me and asked me to take a seat. Before we commit to anything further, you and I need to let you see the truth and know the difference between her and me. She is the goddess, untouchable and rare. I am the simple girl inside her. I am real. And with that, she began to peel away the layers of artifice that create the instrument of man's undoing. The wig of high powdered curls hiding her sleek chestnut waves of hair unfolding down to her waist. Okay, je sais pas lequel qui est plus beau, genre de wig of high power curls ou her sleek chestnut waves of hair. On dirait que ça a comme pas de sens décaché. That's cool. Unlacing and removing the corset that molded her hourglass shape to reveal the curve of her tummy, the plumpness of her hips. I sat mesmerized as she slowly, painstakingly creamed away every last trace of the thick white paste that covered her beautiful pink skin, the wine-red dye staining her rosebud lips, until finally she stood before me, completely natural, without a whisper of pretense. "This is who I really am," she said quietly, and I fell in love. I knew that I had found my wife, the mother of my children. Bon, ça au moins c'est une statue qui a pas de gros seins. But man... We had a wonderful life together. I adored her from sunrise to sunset and could not imagine any man being more happy, more in love than me. We were blessed by the gods and we thanked them every day. However, everything comes at a price, and ours was to be paid in time. Literally. We were to have the happiest years imaginable, but there were to be only 3 of them. The day my kitty told me of her condition was both the happiest day of my life, for she was to bear me a child, and also the day my world fell apart, never to be rebuilt again. I could not fully comprehend what she was saying, that all the years of painting her face with that wretched poison was now reaping his grim rewards. Oui, je vous... si jamais ça vous tente, là, j'ai découvert un channel YouTube où... c'est genre une historienne, une scientifique qui prend toutes les méthodes de maquillage victorienne puis qui explique à quel point absolument tous les produits donnaient le cancer. Genre. Ouais. C'était pas drôle. There was no antidote or cure for the toxic murderer that was coursing his way through her veins. If we were fortunate, she may live to carry our baby to term. Her fight and determination saw her through to the birth. I never once doubted her. I was by her side through it all, and I knew this would be her hand. Her eyes were still so beautiful and innocent. She covered her face with a silk scarf, but I could still make out the contour of her high cheekbones and the outline of her pillowy lips. I could, of course, also see the scars and lesions that gouged into her once plump flesh, but they did not mar her beauty. Oh no, she was still my exquisite angel here on earth. She refused to see the baby for fear that she might leave a lasting impression on her tiny mind, so we spent her precious last... Mon Dieu, c'est terrible que ça. So we spent our precious last moments together alone. Although we both knew she was dying, we spoke as if we had a lifetime ahead of us. Her high, quivering voice was a bell from heaven when she exclaimed, "We will raise our girl right! She will never know what it is to suffer the ugliness of poverty that which forces a girl into a lifetime of compromise and pain. She must know the beauty of freedom." Je guess que the beauty of freedom, c'est money. I kissed the milky white skin of her head, which was still untouched by death, and I carved a promise into my soul that I would honor my darling's wishes and never allow any child of our bloodline to be enslaved in a prison of ugliness. I would do whatever needed to be done to ensure they know the freedom of beauty. She knew I had made my oath to her, for it was at that moment that her body released her back up to the heavens from whence she came. I will love my darling Kitty forever, and cherish her memories always. Ah, c'est peut-être comme la grand-mère de Kitty Fisher de maintenant, genre. Oh, il y a comme une grosse murale avec des chats à gauche. Ah, Kitty Fisher. Ok. Il a appelé sa fille. Ok, d'accord.
My father started Pretty Kitty Cosmetics the moment Mommy's funeral was over. It was his way of dealing with the grief that overwhelmed him. He worked so hard that by the time I came of age and he officially handed the company over to me, it was a thriving, healthy concern. I was very familiar with all aspects of the business as Daddy had made sure I was hands-on from a young age. Having a large shipping company at our disposal was a tremendous boost. We were able to travel far and wide in our search for the most rare and exotic of ingredients to make up our products. When the reins were placed in my hands, I was determined to push us to even greater successes. Under my direction, we were trading with the Africas and India. All of our dyes were natural and the use of harmful ingredients was being kept to a minimum. Within 5 years, I had my own fleet of 6 ships. Kitty's Desire, Kitty's Pride, Kitty's Passion, Kitty's Admiration, Kitty's Attraction, and Kitty's Vanity. Je me rappelle celui qui est... je suis pas sûre, c'est... En tout cas, celui qui est écrasé sur l'île avec les chats, je pense que c'est Kitty's Desire. As progress on discovering new and fruitful lands surged ahead, the medical side lagged woefully behind. Carrying out testing on live subjects was a slow and risky process. It eventually became obvious to me that the way forward was to open my own small medical facility where we could be fully in charge of patient well-being and risk factors like infection control. This was a turning point in the development of our research. It made it easier to stay within the ethos of Pretty Kitty, that no harm would be caused to anyone in the making of our cosmetics. I felt my mother would be proud of me. Then, one summer, everything changed. The chain of events started with a tragedy involving one of our ships, Kitty's Desire, under the stewardship of the very experienced Captain Corn.
Lui, on l'a vu en chat. Il me semble qu'on l'a vu en chat. Ça fait un bout de temps, là, c'était comme dans les... Je pense que c'était dans les extras, à un moment donné, comme par hasard, on va à la plage où est-ce qu'il y a ça, puis il y a comme 2 chats qui sont des capitaines puis qui s'ostinent. Who could have known where we set sail, homeward bound from the Paradise Islands, that this pleasant and routine run would become the defining moment of so many diverse stories? Ah oui, pis c'est ça, il y avait eu une tempête. The sudden turn in the weather was the first clue that this would not be a normal day for the crew of the Kitty's Desire. The storm that developed when we had reached our most vulnerable position out at sea was the worst I had experienced in all my years sailing. Needless to say, pirate trash, the scourge of the oceans always looking out for an opportunity, seized upon our disadvantage and tried to overwhelm us. The elements, however, are not discerning, and their ship buckled alongside ours in the battering waves that eventually washed us all up to meet whatever fate awaited us on this wretched island. C'est vrai, il y a deux naufrages. Il y a comme 2 carcasses de bateaux. We tried as best we could to face our trials like gentlemen, but the conditions were harsh and the men disheartened. Lack of food was the greatest obstacle to our progress. Hunger robbed the men of their integrity, driving them to even escalating levels of risk to find animals to hunt. Time and again, they returned from scouting expeditions with empty hands and empty bellies. Eventually, we had to face the reality that the only inhabitants populating this godforsaken place were the cats. Oh non, ils vont manger des word cats. The cats were everywhere. I feel ashamed as a man of honor to tell what happened next. The depths of depravity to which some men will sink when starvation has them in its grip is unfathomable. Je pense c'est le même qu'on dit ça. To the safe and contented. We were faced with a terrible choice and some succumbed rather than perish. Oh, elle est bien belle! Elle était belle en chat! Et full belle en humaine, c'est comme une belle chatte rousse avec du poil long. En tout cas. I tried to present the men with alternatives. I gathered the roots and tubers they collected on their forays into the forest and boiled them up with salt from the sea to make a more palatable broth. I knew in my heart it weren't no good. Men need meat, and with no birds or fish or any other creature you might expect to find, they looked to the only source of meat in supply. I wouldn't eat it.
I could never bring myself to do that, so I, along with a handful of proud men, were spared the horrific consequences that came from that indulgence. Uh-oh. Sadly, though, we were not spared the witnessing of it. Grown men writhing in such agony that they would sooner throw themselves off the cliffs than endure the pain. It burns! God help us, it burns so bad! The cats are scratching on the inside! They're scratching to get out! Each account was the same. Many crawled away into the forest to die alone. Some tried to swim out to sea only to be crashed back against the rocks. Then came the strange accounts from hunting parties returning from further afield, telling stories of hideous monsters, half human, half cat, living out in the wilds. It was hard to know what to believe. Au moins, ils sont pas morts. Then one night, my boy Jim, unable to speak but as bright as any scholar, came back white at... Oh, Jim, c'est lui qui avait fait les livres de poésie, peut-être? Je sais plus. Came back white as a sheet and shaking like he'd seen the devil himself. He drew me a picture in the sand, then he lashed himself to a barrel and launched himself out to the mercy of the sea. Ah! I never saw him again. Shit. Il y avait des lettres écrites par Jim, me semble. Oh, Calico Jim. I could not scarcely believe my own eyes. I thought it must surely be the hunger playing tricks on me. I spied it from afar at first, scratching in the dirt like an animal. It was bigger than a cat, but with the same ears and tail covered in fur. I heard my foot break a twig and turned. It heard my foot break a twig and turned so that I could see the face of a man, a monster half-breed. Oh, ouch! Ouh! Ouh! Ok. Ben, je peux comprendre que Bee, elle voulait pas que son mari la voie mi-transformation. Peut-être qu'elle avait déjà vu le processus chez quelqu'un d'autre, puis elle a fait il voudra plus jamais me frencher s'il voit ça. Fait que non. He looked wild, and I knew he was about to go for me. So I turns and runs. So I turns and runs as fast as I can. I didn't stop to look back till I was safe with my Captain Libby. That woman has been more than a mother to me. An angel is what she is. It was her who saved my life when the men took it in their heads that I was the Jonah, bringing the bad luck on the ship. They would have killed me proper if she hadn't hid me and kept me safe. They took my tongue before she managed to fight them off, but she nursed me back to health, making sure the infection didn't get me. I know for sure without her I would have danced the hempen jig. J'aimerais prendre un instant pour remercier The Witcher 3 pour cet accent-là. Ça vient de là. This plight, though, that we was now facing, even Captain Libby couldn't save us from. No human could protect us from the curse that comes from men going against nature. Much as I loved her, I had to leave her. I had to try to get back to my little sister, Sally, and to... On a-tu vu Sally? No. And to try to find help for them what's left behind. Ok, il s'est strappé sur un baril pour essayer de trouver un autre île, genre. I don't know how many days I bobbed along my barrel, keeping me afloat and God keeping me alive. He was on my side for sure, and he sent a ship to pick me up before the sharks could get me. It was another Kitty Fisher Cove vessel, the Kitty's Pride. They seemed most interested in me and finding out if I knew anything of what happened to their missing crew. I couldn't talk, but as soon as they understood and gave me pencil and paper, I began writing down everything I could of what happened on that nightmare land.
Et je pense qu'on a trouvé une couple de ces lettres-là, genre. Ou au moins une. Oh.
They treated me like I was a tough.
Aucune idée qu'est-ce que ça veut dire, they treated me like I was a tough. Aucune idée.
I was taken to the Kitty Fisher Hospital for treatment and convalescence. It was lovely there, clean sheets and hearty food. The nurses was gentle and kind, and some were even very pretty, but all the time I prayed that I would soon be back with my sweet Sally. I just could not understand the results we were getting. From the moment we began testing his blood, we were seeing things I never believed possible. We had been looking after this poor chap who's been plucked out of the sea apparently for about a week on Miss Fisher's instruction. He made extraordinarily good progress and all the nurses were jolly pleased with him. I'd had little to do with his care because, frankly, he wasn't sick enough. A doctor with my credentials will only deal with patients who need more interventions. Okay. We leave the basic nursing to our very capable young ladies. It was on the eve of the day that I was going to discuss his possible discharge with Miss Fisher that I was approached by his night nurse. Doctor, I need to ask you to come and look at one of my patients, if you will. It's really rather urgent. I followed her to the bed of young Jim. She brought the lamp close to his face. Open wide, please, Jim. I peered into his mouth and for a moment I was baffled as to what I ought to be looking at. It says tongue, sir. It appears to be rather shortened, but normal nevertheless. That's my concern, sir. That he has a short tongue? That he has any tongue, sir. And then I remembered, when he was admitted, he didn't have any tongue at all. Oh. J'étais sûre... J'avais comme oublié, là. J'étais sûre qu'il allait avoir des pics à la langue, là, comme un chat, là. Des genres de pics par l'envers. Comment on appelle ça? C'est comme une langue rampeuse. Oh, after the initial excitement, the early research was slow and laborious. My great-great-grandmother began the quest to find the island. The pirate regained his speech, along with his tongue, and recounted what had befallen them with remarkable clarity. More astonishing even than the regrowth of his tongue were his blood and tissue tests. All results showed that his cell repair and production was hastened and increased, having the effect of extraordinary healing and rejuvenation. It didn't take them long to work out how a company like Pretty Kitty could benefit from whatever was producing this incredible restoration. Ah, il se transforme pas en chat. Mise eel. This is weird. The key to opening a whole new world of science was somewhere on that island. It took my ancestors years to locate the place, a tiny speck in the middle of a vast ocean, and years more to work out that the entire piece of land was surrounded by a natural repellent force, not unlike magnetic reversal, in that it pushes everything away. It's almost impossible for anything to stumble upon the island by chance. Almost. A lot of time was wasted trying to find a way through the barrier. Pourtant, les deux ships qui ont crashé ont pas eu de misère à passer à travers. En tout cas. Over it, under it, or breaking into it. Then, quite by chance, a discovery was made that changed everything. The invisible wall was not a complete circle. Rather, it was a horseshoe, meaning that there was a small opening in one end through which things could pass. Once that part of the puzzle was solved, it was full steam ahead. My great-grandmother made everything legal by staking her claim on the island and having deeds drawn up to prove ownership. No one contested or even showed interest in it.
Il s'appelle-tu Kitty Fisher de génération en génération?
As you can imagine, that suited my family very well, and a culture of secrecy around Infinity Island began.
Oh, Infinity Island.
All the Fisher women before me, right up to my mother, took the project forward, each in their turn.
Bon, moi qui pensais qu'il était immortel, je suis un peu triste.
They forged a safe and convenient route, scouted for the best place to build a base camp, explored and mapped the island. Until it became how you see it today. I've contributed very little in the inhabitation of the place. It was handed to me complete. My skills were far more valuable on the mainland. The research and results have been beyond anything we could have dreamed of, and needed to be properly protected and insured against.
Oh my god, Ben. Pas immortel, juste vraiment déplaisante de génération en génération. Well. Elle était juste une gold digger, pis ça a genre jamais arrêté.
I discovered that I have rather a genius for sniffing out the right person for whatever the job required. In no time, I had built a task force whose loyalty and discretion matched their expertise in their given field.
J'ai l'impression que leur loyauté et leur discrétion est comme un peu plus forcée qu'elle était naturelle, mettons.
I also found that if someone had reason to be invested in being faithful to me, so much the better.
C'est ça.
It made life more certain for all of us.
Oh, elle avait une face méchante, j'ai oublié de vous le pointer. En tout cas, en bas à gauche, elle avait une face de genre...
I'm an evil bitch.
Oh, Mr. and Mrs. Marigold, ok. Pourtant, on dirait le vieil hôpital.
Very posh.
It was! Imagine us at the KFMF. Aucune idée de quoi qu'on parle.
The news was not good. Emphysema. It had progressed beyond help. We were looking at a very grim future.
And a short one, eh?
Don't make light of it, Mason. That was the worst time of my life.
Uh-oh, elle était malade pis ils ont donné un remède pis ils ont fait maintenant du travail pour nous.
It all worked out though, didn't it, love?
I was admitted to the hospital for a course of treatment. They never really explained what it was, but I had to have blood transfusions and injections every day for a month. Ce qui est quand même fuck louche. Then the most miraculous thing happened. I could breathe again.
More than that, all his tests shows that his lung tissue was back to normal.
I was cured. We were beside ourselves with gratitude. How can you ever pay someone back for something like that? Well, let me tell you. She found a way though, didn't she, Mara? We certainly have been made to pay. I don't care. I'd do it all again and more to keep you from pain and disability. She made us an offer after Mason recovered. She explained about the Cat Island and how she needed people she could trust to live and work there. It was top secret because her research was so important other companies might try to infiltrate and steal it. Never mentioned that the authorities, the police, and the government might be more than a bit interested in the practices that was going on there. It seemed ideal at first, did it? We were told that the island has special properties that would keep us healthy and well and would prevent Mace's emphysema from returning. It was hard to believe, but it was true. We quickly found ourselves feeling and looking younger than we had done for many a year. I took care of the cooking and general cleaning of the camp and the designated cat areas. Mason was the handyman. Repairs and general dog's body. Miss Fisher had just recruited a new scientist, a proper bigwig apparently, and we were to make things nice for his arrival. I did ask what had happened to the last team, but we learned fast that questions were not welcomed. So we awaited the arrival of this Professor Popper. Oh, nice lab. My father was a scientist, you know. Ça sonne tellement prétentieux. All of my childhood memories are of his back as he sat at his desk analyzing. It ground him into an early grave, that work, work, work mentality. His death only made me more determined, inspired me to do what he could not. It was clearly in my DNA. I excelled at university, became the youngest person in my field to achieve a PhD. I chose animal cloning as my specialization and won a handful of academic awards for my theories, and yet more still for my practical work. Pourtant, il n'y a aucun clonage à date dans l'histoire, mais je sais pas. It is, of course, a controversial area of science, one of those subjects that butt up against theology, often causing contention. Even the law becomes flimsy this close to the ethical boundaries of science, and one often finds oneself in gray areas. Fait que c'était vraiment déjà comme... C'est vraiment déjà dans son CV, de genre être éthiquement louche. I like it, perverse as it may sound. It builds character. A pioneer must keep a clear perspective on his goal intention and have nerves of steel to see it through, regardless of the obstacles. I hit the dizzy heights of success in the 80s when I won the DP Foundation Award for Scientific Advancements for the results I was getting in the field of animal hormone therapy. As always, there was a brouhaha, with the Animal Rights Brigade joining force with the Bible thumpers and demanding I be hung, drawn, and quartered, or some such nonsense. It got quite tricky for a while there, and the law intervened and tied up my research so that I was no longer at liberty to work without having to explain myself to the governing body or another. C'est un peu ce que notre personnage a dit tantôt, mais je sais pas où est-ce qu'on a trouvé cette info-là, par exemple. I lost my enthusiasm. If a man of genius is not permitted to express himself freely, he quickly becomes disillusioned. I began to sink into the quicksand of complacency. Whiskey helped. Ah, c'est vrai, il y a un problème de whisky. Ça, c'est subtil, là. I dread to think where it might have all ended if the Kitty Fisher Science Foundation hadn't thrown me a lifeline. Toute qu'une lifeline. It was the most intriguing offer I'd ever been made. It was all cloak and daggers at the start, but once I was on board, I understood the need for discretion. Again, I found myself skating upon the thin ice of morality, and too many inquisitive intruders could prove heavy enough to crack the foundations, sending us all under. I was given a free hand to pursue my own research, alongside the work I was doing for the Pretty Kitty Company. Ah, okay. Their investigations into the rejuvenating properties of the island and how they may be harnessed and made effective in their cosmetic products was interesting enough, if a little superficial. However, it was the work with the island's inhabitants, the cats, that really intrigued me. I had some understanding through my study of their DNA, that these were no ordinary species. Some, of course, were domestic monkeys like you may have on your lap at this very moment. But others were entirely different. Ooh. As the months rolled by and I became more absorbed in my work here, I see now that I began to lose sight of the bigger picture. Miss Fisher was demanding ever more intrusion into the lives of these animals, and I was no longer able to say no. I was in too deep. There was a long time ago, that an incident regarding one of my research assistants so troubled me that I tried to make a stand. I was made aware that my compliance was the only thing that stood between me and disappearance. There was nowhere to run. The only way off this island was guarded by her henchmen. Avec les deux dudes qui ont le bateau pis qui peuvent t'assassiner, genre, si jamais tu fais pas la job. C'est ça, eux autres. Our first son, Jake, took up so much of our time that I didn't dare hope we would have another child. Grace was the perfect mother, devoting herself to his care without complaint. Muscular dystrophy is a demanding condition, and she was as much a nurse as she was a mother. So when, during the birth of our second boy, Joe, complications developed that took her from us, I knew I was going to have to give everything I had to fill her shoes. The first thing I did was hand in my notice at the DP Shipping Co., where I'd worked since I was just a lad. Although I'd been given the opportunity over the years to rise up through the ranks, I always declined promotions. I'm a family man, and spending time with Grace and Jake meant more to me than a bit of power or a few extra quid. We did all right, we had enough. Now, though, I regretted not having the perks those promotions would have brought. Childcare and pension benefits would have helped at this time of need. However, I knew the Lord would provide, and we'd be looked after, and so we were. No sooner had I quit my job than I get a phone call asking if I can meet with Miss Kitty Fisher. I scratched my head over that one. What could the big boss lady possibly want with me? Well, I didn't have to wait long to find out, as a few hours later, there's a knock at my door, and there she is, the lady herself. I heard you have a sick kid. Il s'appelle tout Kitty Fisher! You clearly have your hands full, Bob, so I thought it may be easier all round if the mountain came to Muhammad, so to speak. I was speechless. There she was on her own. No entourage, no security, nothing. I was in the middle of making lunch, so I invited her in, and we all sat down together, me and Jake and Miss Fisher, holding a baby Joe, eating ackee and saltfish together. Just when you think you've seen it all. She cut to the chase, I'll give her that. She said how much she appreciated the loyalty I'd shown to the company over the years, how she can always spot a good one. That perhaps we could be helpful to each other in these difficult times. Well, I don't know what was difficult for her. Indeed. But me and my boys could do with all the help we could get, so I sat up straight and listened well.
She explained about her less public company project on a remote location in the middle of the ocean, how a position has opened up for an experienced ferryman, someone who understood the value of discretion, someone with integrity. She told me how happy she was to reward those qualities and proceeded to outline her plan. The humility that has kept you at the level of water patrol, regardless of your exceptional skills and experience, is of great interest to me, Bob. I am prepared to make you what I believe you will find is a very attractive offer. It can't be easy for you to look out for Jake whilst also taking care of this little munchkin. She bounced Joe in her arms all the same time she was talking. If you agree to my terms, I can ease your burden considerably. I will ensure that both your children receive the highest quality of care available, including a place in our medical facility for when Jake needs treatment, and a round-the-clock nursery nurse, okay, for baby Joe, allowing you to work for a very handsome wage. The hours will be limited so that you can spend much of your time with the boys, but the salary will not be limited in any way whatsoever. The Lord was smiling on our house that day, and I have been the island ferryman ever since. The years rolled on, and by the time Joe was 12, it was obvious he wasn't going to get much more from formal schooling. The lack of oxygen during his birth has made him slow. It could have been so much worse, but thanks the Lord, his brain damage wasn't debilitating. It just made it hard for him to fit in. He was big for his age and stronger than average, so when he got teased at school and he lashed out, he could be a danger to other kids. Eventually, it was deemed best all round if he left school and took up an apprenticeship with me. Again, Miss Fisher stepped up to help, got the right letters writ and the right calls made to keep the authorities happy. Then we were a team, Bob and Joe, the ferrymen. Things have changed on the job over the years. We used to only do one run a month to the island, delivering supplies and collecting stuff to be deposited at the other facilities on the mainland. These days, we travel up twice a week sometimes. The duties have changed too, but I don't look too closely at things like that. The job's a job. Be on time, do what's required, don't ask questions that aren't absolutely necessary. After the business with the security guard and his wife, the goalposts moved considerably. I tried to keep my boy out of it as much as possible. I made sure he only used a tranquilizing gun. Oh. But I had to have Joe's help with containing the ferals at least until the change was complete and we could release them back onto the island. Ah, ok. Fait quand on commençait à se transformer puis ils nous ont tiré du gun dessus, c'était un tranquillisant pis c'était pour nous relâcher. Mais le jeu a vraiment pas rendu ça clair là. Quand t'étais trop fatigué pis tu commençais à te transformer, t'emmenais sur le bateau pis genre PANG! Puis le jeu c'est genre game over. Ah. One time I asked, why bother going to all the trouble of taking them out to sea just to return them again as cats? The professor told me he didn't want to be implicated, and being out in open water fudged the responsibility issue. Seems to me there was a lot of fudging going on. I felt bad about it all, of course I did, but Jake was alive and well beyond all reasonable prognosis, and I wasn't going to do anything to put that in jeopardy. I was sorry for Zane. I liked him, but what could I do? Oh. Moi aussi, je suis sorry for Zane maintenant. Oh, Londres! Comment on sait que c'est Londres? Parce qu'il y a des bus rouges à 2 étages. C'est la seule chose. She was the love of my life, and I knew as soon as I clapped my eyes on her that I would follow her to the ends of the earth. Funny that, because as it turned out, I sort of did. I was punching way above my weight, of course. She was a brilliant veterinary research scientist in her final year of uni. I worked in the local gym as a personal trainer and teacher of Krav Maga. Whatever that is. At 29, I was 5 years older, but somehow it just worked. Neither of us had anyone else in the world, both orphaned young, so we became each other's family, and soon we didn't need anyone else. Our wedding was the happiest day of my life, and we set off for the island straight afterwards for what we'd taken to calling our never-ending honeymoon. Oof. Ouch. The timing was so perfect we thought it was meant to be. The gods of love were smiling down on us. Well, I thought that. She thought I was an idiot with a head full of romantic notions. But still, it was a bit of a coincidence that she was approached at uni for the job of a lifetime, on a tropical island, cloaked in secrecy, starting the day after a wedding. Even me, the spanner in the works, was taken care of when they said they could use someone to head up island security. What were the odds? So after sailing through the checking process, we sailed off into the sunset. Once we arrived and reality hit, it wasn't quite everything I was hoping for. I was the only security guard on the most secure place on the planet, so I sat around a lot waiting for mealtimes. Also, it was overrun with cats. They were everywhere. My allergy went through the roof, oh no. Neko was happy though. She loved the work and I loved her, so I took my antihistamine, bought some puzzle books to keep me occupied, and learned to enjoy doing very little. We blissed out for months before the cracks first started to appear. Neko was becoming increasingly concerned about aspects of the work that I couldn't hope to understand. I suggested that she should sit down with Professor Popper and have it out, explain her worries, and get everything out in the open. She agreed and went to see him in his tent. Oh no, girl. Girl, don't do that. Oh no, girl. Later that evening, she was back to her normal self, happy that she had been listened to and taken seriously. Professor Popper promised he would look into her concerns personally and take it up with the company directors. He couldn't have been more supportive. 24 hours later, I was recalled to the mainland to help with setting up security on a newly opened facility. Why me? I had no idea, but after all the months of doing nothing, I was quite pleased to be useful again. C'est tellement louche. Genre que le lendemain qu'elle s'est plaint, il disparaît. Neko was happy, it was only for a month, so I set off with Bob the ferryman the next day. Back in those days, you couldn't contact the island and the ferry only went once every 4 weeks, so I had no communication with my wife until I returned. Oh no. I couldn't wait to see her and ran from the jetty to our tent. Minou. Oh no, hello. We hugged for the longest time, and while she was holding me tight, she began to explain what had happened. I need you to stay calm, Zane. You mustn't lose it. Promise me you'll do as I ask. My life could depend on it. Slowly, she let me go and sat me down. It was too bizarre to believe at first. There had been an accident, and she'd been bitten by a cat, setting in motion a change in her DNA that would result eventually in feline transition. I made her spell it out for me. I know I'm not as quick as her, and maybe I wasn't hearing her properly. It was a long night, but by the end of it, there were no misunderstandings. Her and the professor were working to find an antidote. I needed to stay put and do nothing that might put her at risk or prevent them from reaching that goal. Days turned to weeks, and she began to change. She didn't like me seeing her, so she stayed away more and more until she stopped coming back to our tent altogether. The professor kept me informed, but after a while he stopped telling me, and I stopped asking. New assistants came and went, but I was sworn to secrecy. I lived in the hope that one of them, working alongside the brilliant professor, would one day find an answer and create a remedy. Really? Pourquoi qu'il était pas nice avec nous de bord? How naive was I? By the end I'd figured out what was really going on. It was all too late. There had never been an accident, and there would never be an antidote. C'était pour ça de bord. That is, until you came along, Purnell. I had a feeling from the start that you were different. And look at us now. You've done what we couldn't. Thank you. From all of us. Mais ce qui est cool, c'est que c'est genre 6 assistants qui ont travaillé sur l'antidote petit peu par petit peu, tu sais. C'est quand même sweet. Ouh, on revient où est-ce qu'on était, je pense. Thank you, Zane. Thank you all for sharing your stories. Well, les minous, ils ont pas share leurs stories encore. What stories? Are you alright, Purnell? Oh. Oh. You look like you've seen a ghost, Cara. Didn't you hear them? Hear whom? They're all staring at me in such a way that I know whatever I just heard was intended for my ears only. I know now that what we're doing is right and that the island itself supports us. C'est donc bien weird. Je sais pas s'il va y avoir une explication à ça. Finally, we're all properly united and ready to free this island from the evil that has been corrupting it. I only wish I could have come sooner. So many have been harmed, so many used. Each of you has had your better nature, your love, turned as a weapon against you to force you to do things I'm sure have hurt you immeasurably. Even you, Professor, your love of work, of science, was used to blind you to the truth of the harm you were causing.
Je sais pas à quel point il était aveuglé.
I think it's obvious that nobody in this story started out with evil in their hearts. In fact, it seems the opposite is true. How sad that in shifting your moral compass by just 1 degree you have, over time, come so very far off course. You have all lost so much. There will never be a way to get that back, but we can turn our losses into lessons and move forward with hope. So listen, all of you. I promise this story will end today. We will work together to stop this evil here and now and return this island to its rightful owners. Damn kitties.
Damn kitties will take back them island. Mais juste les elder kitties, les autres ils vont revenir à la maison.
From my vantage point, I can see Kitty Fisher stepping off the boat. She looks exactly as I pictured her. If the wind was in the right direction, I imagine she would smell divine. She has her 2 beasts from hell with her.
Oh. What? Elle amène 2 Dobermen sur l'île aux chats? Crise de folle.
Reggie and Ronnie, huge Doberman attack dogs. Zane has told me she hated cats, but I didn't really believe him until now. These 2 monsters would make short work of anything on this island, apart from the elders. We need to keep our wits about us. I can just about hear her and the professor as they pass where I'm hiding. It's a long journey, my dear. You must be exhausted. I'm used to it, but the weather is very warm today. A little cold refreshment would be welcome. Of course, we'll head to the mess tent. I need my darlings fed and watered. You'll see to that. She's talking to Zane, who's walking 2 steps behind him, looking like the perfect bodyguard. As he passes, I see he has his fingers crossed behind his back. They'll be well sorted, madam. When they've gone and it's safe to move, I scrambled into my next position near the mess tent. I can see the others are all at their posts waiting for a signal. When I'm sure Miss Fisher and the professor are seated comfortably, I gesture to the lads. What lads? Okay. Kibbles and McMurphy shoot out from their hidey holes and run up as close to the 2 snarling beasts as possible without being in range of gnashing fangs. All hell has broken loose. Ronnie and Reggie are going wild, snapping and straining at their leashes to get at the 2 brave cats who are hissing and spitting along with some choice language that, thankfully, only I can understand.
Ça serait drôle que le professeur dans l'attente il l'entende aussi pis qu'il soit comme qu'est-ce qui se passe?
Within a split second, Zane has jumped up behind the dogs and in one movement unclips the chains from their collars. Oh shit. We all hold our breath as they lurch forward toward the pair who are spinning off as fast as their little legs will carry them. At the same time, I hear her voice over the receding din. What on earth is going on here? And then seeing Zane with the leads and no dogs. What did you do, you fool? You've let them go? Yes, miss. Well, what are you waiting for? Go after them. I'm afraid I'm not going to do that, miss. She turns to the professor. Percival! Fire this ignoramus! Oh, Percival. Except in Percival Popper. And he's not going to do that, miss. Have you all gone insane? Percival! He's right, I'm afraid. For goodness sake, you're both fired. Pack your things this instant. We can do this the easy way or the hard way, miss. She turns on Zane and lashes him across the face. Oh, okay. She mad. Hard way it is, then. He's cut her arm and in one swift maneuver brought his other end up and plunged a needle into her neck. Oh. What the? She stumbles toward Professor Popper. He injected me with something! What was it? Then rounding on Zane. What was that? Calm yourself, Kitty dear. I'm afraid it's too late to put up a fight. The damage has been done.
Oh, il a l'air happy que ce soit le hard way. Indeed.
What damage? What are you talking about? Explain yourself.
Perhaps I can help with that.
Who are you? What's going on here? She's holding her neck and shaken with rage and shock. Find Miss Fisher a chair, please. We need to have a chat and it may take some time. Zane grabs a chair from the mess tent. I don't want to sit! I need answers! I think you'd best do as you have been told, young lady. Yes, all this emoting will play havoc on your frown lines. Finally, Kitty Fisher has been silenced. She looks from one cat to the next in disbelief. I think she can hear us. How? It's not possible. I'm afraid it is, my dear. She slumps down onto the seat. My name is Purnell. I'm the current research assistant. I have been infected with the virus that causes feline transition, and as you know, like so many others before me, I would not have been allowed to reach the mainland. Kitty brings her hand back up to her neck with a look of realization. Nya, nya, nya. Yes, that's right, Miss Fisher. You're now in the process of transition. The blood in the syringe was willingly donated by our very good friend Ravenpaw. Ho ho ho! Sweet, sweet revenge. She's a half-elder and has the ability to infect. She was your only success at interbreeding. Sadly, her parents, along with many others, were killed in those experiments. But she survived. Are you seriously telling me that I've been infected? Well, what would deduction be given your newly acquired linguistic abilities? But why? To force your hand. There are things we need from you that you would not give without leverage. What things? Are you trying to blackmail me? Do you understand who you are dealing with, you ridiculous child? I certainly do, Miss Fisher, and I have the utmost respect for the many good things the Fisher Foundation has contributed to the world in so many diverse areas. However, the atrocities you have instigated here on this island are unforgivable. How dare you judge me? You are nothing, nobody. And yet, I seem to have your future firmly in my hands. You think you're so clever? Well, let me tell you. No, actually, let me tell you. Here's the situation. We have positioned Neko in a secret location. Neko? Zane steps forward and shows Kitty Fisher his catalog. This is Neko. She was the first researcher you hired to assist Professor Popper with his project. She was a brilliant scientist with a bright future ahead of her, until she discovered too much about the Pretty Kitty Foundation, and you ordered her to be forcefully injected with the virus. Do you remember her? Kitty frowns. Of course I don't. How could I? Maybe because she threatened to blow the whistle on this whole operation? A dawning realization spreads across Kitty's face. Her! That buzzy little bee buzzing around my business. Why should I concern myself with her? She's long gone catching mice and scratching fleas. Hardly a threat now. Look at the date on this photo, miss. Neko is proof the antidote works. A nasty smile spreads across her face. Oh, good. Kitty draws a gun from her jacket. Oh shit! She got a fucking gun? Then give me the antidote and I won't blow your tiny brains out. Huh. Y'a plus de musique. Ben, y en a un, mais c'est genre vraiment, vraiment grave. Oh, I wouldn't do that if I were you. You see, as Neko reverted, all of the memories came back. She has a world of information and proof of the despicable things you have been doing here. Find her, Percival, and bring her to me this instant. She's not on the island, my dear. Her secret location is on the mainland, where she's now waiting for a call from us, which if she doesn't get by... Ooh. Comment on dit ça? 1800 hours, je pense. 1800 hours, precisely. She will then attend a press conference she's set up with a global news syndicate, and we can expect visitors here very soon after. Kitty's demeanor changes. What is it that you want? You need to atone for the heinous crimes you have committed here, not only against the cats and humans, but the island itself. So we've had Neko visit a reputable law firm to have a contract drawn up, which will be couriered to your legal department as soon as you give the word. Je trouve ça fou que genre, elle a comme sorti un gun, mais genre, c'est quand même nous autres que le gros bout du bâton, là. Je m'attendais pas à ça. Comme je m'attendais à ce qu'il y ait un moment de genre, oh shit! In a nutshell, it allows you to continue your research here on the island with the following provisos. Provisions, maybe? 1. You fund a veterinary clinic to be set up here dedicated to the well-being of all the cats on the island. 2. All of your research which involve cats or animals of any kind ceases immediately. However, you may continue to research the island's properties with due consideration for the effect you have on the environment. 3. All results and findings from here on in must be shared with the World Health Organization for the benefit of medical advancement. You won't have time to read the finer details right now, but you can trust us that there are no hidden traps. We play straight, Miss Fisher. We've asked for a modest allowance for anyone who chooses to return to the mainland and a guarantee of a job for life if they want it. You certainly know how to pick people who have loyalty and integrity. Finally, those qualities will be put to better use and everyone will be a lot happier. What do you say, Miss Fisher? Kitty lowers the gun. Where do I sign? What? That easy? You're not going to put up a fight. The battle is nothing. The war has been fought and won already. Bravo, child. Besides, I know a good offer when I see one. C'est louche. C'est louche. I will be rehumanized, I escape incarceration, I continue with my highly profitable cosmetic research, and I get to be the good guy, sharing my discoveries with the world. Excellent PR and marketing. I couldn't have asked for more. I can't help smiling. Kitty Fisher has turned out to be every inch the businesswoman I imagined. Ah. J'y crois pas. J'y crois pas, c'est louche. C'est full louche. We've decided to hold our meeting on the cliffs that lead to the rainbow pools. It was Snooty Booty's idea. It just smells heavenly. She's half right. When the breeze is in our direction, it carries a sickly sweet perfume even this far along. I remember when I first came here with Trixie, it amazed me. I didn't know then that this place had been used to add perfumes and glue and dyes to the cosmetics. Oh, c'est pour ça les rainbow pools. Ah. Everything about the island was so baffling back then. How long ago that seems now. Major, do you want to begin? He loves calling us to order and is great at keeping us on track. It makes him the obvious choice for a chairperson. Yes, thank you, Purnell. If I can have your attention, Kibbles. The sun is glinting off silver specks in the rocks and has distracted Kibbles. He's hunched with his ears pinned flat to his head, ready to pounce. Il doit avoir des poissons. Stop catching the lucilites! Les lucilites. Yeah, I'm not. I'm making sure there are no hidden microphones. No one has bugged the sunbeams, Kara. Come over here and let's hear the latest intel. Oh, right, a debrief? I'm on it. As you all know, Purnell has extraordinary success with the antidote. A friendly little cheer goes up, causing me to blush. B. Neko has not shown any contraindications in the period since her full transition. So the time has, at last... Ouais, l'affaire, c'est qu'on lui a donné quoi, 24 heures, genre. Elle a fini sa dernière dose antidote, puis on l'a shippé sur le même land, fait qu'on sait pas tant si elle a eu des effets secondaires. En tout cas. So the time has at last arrived for each of us to think very carefully about whether we want to undergo treatment to bring about our own rehumanization. Ah, il pourrait dire non. At this point in the proceedings, I would like to hand over to Purnell. Oh, thanks, Major. So, we're finally here. It's a big step, guys. One or two things need to be said before anything happens. Although I'm very confident in the safety of the serum, I feel we need to exercise some caution with regard to our emotional well-being. Not everyone may wish to give up the life they had made for themselves here as a cat. Each one of you must search your own hearts, but I suggest you also talk with each other for support. Needless to say, I am available should you wish to go over things with me. Aww. On fait ça de la bonne façon. Trixie holds up a paw and I nod to indicate she has the floor. When is all this going to happen? Will it be available to all the cats on the island? Good questions, Trix. Firstly, the answer is yes. All cats will be offered the opportunity to undergo transition. However, oh my god, il va y avoir genre des vieux pirates là, parce que les autres j'ai l'impression qu'ils sont comme immortels là. Je suis pas sûre là, mais comme il y en a qui ont l'air d'être là depuis vraiment longtemps. Pour moi, il va y avoir des pirates qui sont poignés là depuis genre 300 ans. However, we thought it would be best to offer it to you guys first, as you've been instrumental in bringing this about. That way, should you choose to, you can be extra pairs of hands to help when we roll it out to everyone else. It will be a bit chaotic at first, but what on Cat Island is ever straightforward. Exciting times, Kata! Max right, let's enjoy the rest of this adventure. We've earned it. And my other question? 3 days, my friends. We begin in 3 days. Pourquoi 3 days? I don't know. There is some general cheering and it feels like the natural place to end. To end what? Par la discussion, je présume. Oh. Après, je vais voir si mon Kitty Cat à moi, il veut pas rentrer en dedans. Donnez-moi 2 secondes. Bon, j'ai regardé les 2 portes 2 fois, puis ça veut pas venir, fait que... Elle doit être occupée. Depuis qu'il fait beau, et comme, moi je rentre plus en dedans. Alright. Kibbles hasn't been seen for over a week. Bon, j'imagine qu'il y a beaucoup de temps qui a passé. And I'm really anxious about meeting him. What if it didn't work? Of course, what if he became sick and no one was there to help him? Ouais, il me semble que, au lieu de les laisser lousses pour faire leur transition, il me semble qu'on aurait dû les placer sous observation, hein? En tout cas. The antidote has been so successful on me that I stopped being able to communicate with cats a few days ago, so I can't even get any information about him. Oh. All I've been able to do is turn up at the designated place every day and leave his dose in a petri dish, mixed with a little minced chicken. Oh. Each time I return, the dish is empty, so I assume he's taking it. It's been a roller coaster taking my own daily stats and seeing everything return into normal. A real mixture of sadness at separating from my feline community, but excitement also at seeing the antidote doing its job and proving itself a success. And finally we're here! The last day, last dose, final showdown. Oh, on dirait que tous les minous vont être là en même temps puis ils vont tous être humains. Ah. I told Kibbles a week ago that I would meet him at this spot. I left some of my clothes for him in the hope that the results are good, and here I am, and there's no sign of him. Kibbles! Oh shit! Oh shit! C'est le gars du chapitre 5. Ça veut dire qu'on avait commencé à changer les assistants en même temps. Oh shit. No answer, so I sit down and wait. As the minutes sticks by, my heart sinks. Oh, c'est peut-être son chum aussi, ça se peut. Je sais plus. He's not coming. Something's wrong. I need to look for him, help him. Then suddenly, something lands on me from behind and sends me sprawling. I'm being wrestled by someone. I manage to scramble free as I hear a familiar voice. Aw, I won! You're useless against me now I'm at full strength. You'll never beat me. It's him! It's Kibbles! Oh wow, look at you, Kibbles, this is amazing! He's exactly how I imagined he would look. A little taller maybe, but the lopsided grin is there and I'm used to him instantly. Ha! What'd you think? That I wouldn't make the grade? Think again, lesser mortal, for I am a god. You certainly are. So it all went okay? No problems? Of course not. It was a spin in a phone box. No regrets? Are you joking? Check out these beauties! He wiggles his thumbs in my face. Il s'est ennuyé d'avoir des pouces, merveilleux. Wow, Kibbs, we can have Thumb Wars! Yes, but... Can we not call me that dumb name anymore? Oh, c'est vrai. What, Kibbles? He blushes. Yeah, that. Okay, what shall we rename you? Got anything in mind? Yes, I have. I thought if this day ever comes, I wouldn't want a name befitting the momentousness of it. Ses souvenirs sont pas revenus, genre, il se rappelle pas de son vieux nom. Peut-être que comme il va en profiter pour avoir un nom plus cool. Okay. He straightens himself up to his full height, shoulders back, chest puffed out. I hope I'm going to be able to keep a straight face for him. Stand Harghelm Crush! At first I'm not sure if it's a joke, but the earnest look on his face tells me he's perfectly serious. Well, that's, it's very, you can call me Stan for short, though. I heave a silent sigh of relief and quickly grab him in a hug. Great to finally meet you, Stan. But when we're in company, you must use my full name. I will, Stan Harghelm Crush. I certainly will. We stare at each other for what begins to feel like an awkward long time. I decide to finally break the silence. So, there's just one more question that needs to be answered. Oh yeah, I've been giving that some thought. PC or console? What? I'm talking about our future. Oh, yeah, me too. We need to pick one soon if we're going to game together. God. Stan, I'm talking about where we put the PC. Oh, you were thinking PC, huh? Oh, shit. Kibbles, I am asking you whether we should live here or start our lives together on the mainland. Oh my, qu'est-ce que vous pensez? Je pensais pas que j'aurais des choix. Je pensais que c'était fini le temps d'avoir des choix. Mais genre, si on veut gamer, ça prend l'électricité, là. Je pense qu'on a... Comme il y en a un peu sur l'île, mais il y en a pas vraiment assez pour que ça vaille la peine, là. Je sais pas s'il y a vraiment des choses qui vont continuer là, fait que... Moi, je dirais mainland. Y a-t-il des bad choices? J'ai aucune idée. Je pense pas. J'imagine que ça va peut-être changer le look du ending, là. Mainland, alright. Peut-être qu'on va tous se rencontrer, genre, dans un pub sur le mainland. Bon, j'avais pas pensé à ça. I'm nervously waiting for Snooty to make her entrance. She told me to wait for her at our favorite spot on the beach under the shade of the palm tree. Ouais, ça serait pas fin avoir une mauvaise fin rendu là. Je pense qu'il y a pas de fin, là. J'imagine c'est peut-être comme le look de la chose, là. Peut-être qu'on va avoir une photo de groupe ou quelque chose. I can't wait to see her in her human form. That's assuming it's worked for her as well as it has for me. We've both been taking the antidote for the past week. On her strict instructions, I've not been allowed to see her, but my results have been amazing. All of my vitals have returned to normal. Oh, you know you should stand in the presence of a lady, dude. Je l'ai littéralement appelé dude. I hear her before I see her, and the sound of her voice gives me goosebumps. I jump up and turn around, but still no sight of her. Snoots? Where are you? That name is no longer suitable, and I demand that you stop using it immediately. Whatever you say, madam. Just please come out so that I can see if it's worked. If it's worked? Of course it has worked. Why would it work on you and not me? And as I follow her voice to behind the largest of the trees, I catch my first sight of her. Ouais, dude, ça aurait pu être pas ce nom-là, parce que dans le fond, il a fallu que je refasse la game au grand complet. Après la dernière game qu'on était arrêté à genre 99,9%. Il a fallu que je recommence au grand complet pour qu'on ait l'antidote à 100%. Fait que je leur ai sûrement donné un paquet de noms vraiment random dont je me rappelle pas. Et là voilà. Oh my goodness, you look incredible! Yes, well, we're going to have to get me some decent clothes. These rags you left for me will not do. Not one bit. She's wearing a dress I managed to pilfer from Mrs. Marigold's washing line. It hangs rather forlornly from her tall, elegant frame.
Shopping is the first thing on my agenda. Slow down a minute, Snoots. Let's take it nice and easy. You're new to all this. Actually, I'm not. Fewer memories than I expected have returned, but there is enough to tell me that I was a very competent human being for a very long time. That's great. What's more, I was extremely talented shopper. I cannot wait to visit the mainland and brush up my skills. You have all the time in the world to do whatever you want. So I take it there are no regrets? Have you taken leave of your senses? Look at me! Why would I regret anything? You're right. You look stunning. And she is. I see now the alabaster skin she was always protecting in the frame of delicate bones. Truly aristocratic. How do you feel? Remarkably well, considering. She does a dramatic twirl so that I can appreciate her beauty, then stops in front of me, very serious. I believe I owe you my gratitude, dude. Ça rime? I will never be able to thank you enough, but I will certainly never stop trying. I cannot believe these words are coming out of Snooty Booty's mouth, and then... Where is it, then? Where's what? I trust you've arranged first-class transport for me. My delicate constitution does not travel well. Oh, Snooty Booty, it's a 5-minute walk into camp. Very well. Come along. And suddenly she's off leading the way, leaving me to follow in her footsteps. I have a feeling this is the pattern of how our lives are going to be, but I don't mind. I'm just happy beyond words. I was thinking of Prudence. Oh yes? Who's that? Me, possibly? Prudence suits me, does it not? I think you can be called whatever you like, Prudence. Then she waits for me to catch up to her, slips her delicate little hand in mine, and gives it a gentle squeeze. You know we have some serious talking to do. I suppose you'll be wanting to know my grooming requirements as a human? Massage? Things like that? I suppressed a laugh that's working its way up my throat. Yes, of course, that. But also where our future lives will be, here or the mainland. Oh, yes, I see. That is a rather large question. Je vais dire the mainland parce qu'elle a déjà comme dit qu'elle voulait absolument les magasiner. Let's go. Je pense que je vais dire ça pour tout le monde. Ça serait bizarre de rester genre sur l'île qui comme je les ai juste toutes maltraitées. Là. Today's the day. My heart is in my mouth as I make my way to our meeting spot. I haven't seen Mac for a week. Each day I've felt the saucer outside his little hideout in the forest. I've left the little saucer outside his... He wanted it mixed with some grog, so I've just been coming and tipping the antidote into the saucer. I don't know yet if he's even been taking it. What if he changed his mind? Decided not to take the risk? It is still a risk, although I've taken every precaution possible. Deliberately waiting long enough to see if Neko developed any side effects before allowing anyone else to take it. Ah, ça doit être pour ça qu'on a attendu 3 jours avant de commencer. I know it's working on me though. All my vitals have returned to normal, and 2 days ago I stopped being able to understand the cats. I no longer speak their language. That was a sadness, and I feel almost like a traitor, but ultimately I'm hoping they will all benefit from this breakthrough and be able to return to their human form. I've reached our spot, but McMurphy is nowhere to be seen. Oh, vous êtes tout excités de voir Mac, moi aussi. Mac. Oh, c'est Dudette! J'étais vraiment super inspirée, you guys. Mac, it's me! I don't know if you can understand me anymore. Are you here? I can hear something rustle in the bushes. Is that you? It's okay. Whatever has happened, I can help you. Just let me see you. Oh, are you sure you're ready for this, Cara? Oh, Mac, thank goodness you're okay. Then it strikes me that I can hear him again. You're speaking! Well, I have never stopped doing that as far as I'm aware, Cara. I'd go as far as to say I'm a born orator. If you don't come out of those bushes right now, I'm coming to get you. I knew you'd never be able to control yourself around me. And there he is. It's strange and wonderful at the same time. McMurphy stood in front of me, a little restricted by the clothes I left for him. My size, not his. He's bigger than I imagined, taller and broader, but every bit as rugged and handsome.
Wow, McMurphy, is that really you? Now, don't you think there could only be one of me? Disappointed or delighted? Truth now, Kara. I want to laugh. I'm so happy. Of course I'm delighted. I step forward to hug this amazing friend who I've shared such a journey with. We embrace for a long time. You know you're going to need to know my first name. I didn't know you had one. I just always thought of you as being McMurphy, like Madonna. Or Prince. Or Cher. Connor. Who's Connor? Me, that's my name. I stand back and look at him. Yes, I like it suits you, although you'll always be Murph to me. Lui, il s'en rappelle de son vrai nom. Je sais pas pourquoi les autres sont genre, I will rename myself. Actually, Kara, you used to call me Mac, didn't you? Oh, I think I did sometimes. Well, what's in a name? That which we call a rose by any other word would smell as sweet. Get you! Remembering Shakespeare already? I have to say, Kara, I was a bit worried that I might regret transitioning. Ouais, lui, il avait l'air quand même bien adapté, là. Ah, c'est vrai qu'ils retrouvent pas tous leurs souvenirs. Mais ça va peut-être venir comme avec le temps aussi, là. Shakespeare, you! Not a bit of it. I think this will get better and better. He crooks his arm for me to link. Lead me to the nearest tavern! That may be further than you think, Connor. That's a good point, Kara. What will it be? Mainland or island? Your place or mine? Ça va être mainland, y'a pas de taverne ici. Yay! Qui reste? Il reste Major? Oh, il reste Ravenpaw. Je suis sûre qu'on garde Ravenpaw pour la fin parce qu'elle est à moitié Elder Cat, fait qu'elle est à moitié chat pour vrai, genre. Ça va être space. I have no idea what to expect. My hands are trembling. I've been taking 400 milligrams of the antidote every morning and all of my vitals have returned to normal. My hearing has decreased and vision in the dark has become virtually non-existent. As of yesterday, I haven't been able to communicate with the cats. Oh, Trixie! J'ai oublié Trixie! Shit! When Trixie found out I had a breakthrough with the antidote, she insisted I try it on her as well as myself. I tried to make her wait until we saw that the longer-term results were for me and Neko. I didn't want to put her at risk, but she wouldn't accept no for an answer, so I stopped arguing. I have been leaving a small saucer of the medication mixed with food outside her cave every morning. She's requested that we don't see each other during the process of human transition, as she's worried she'll frighten me. She could never frighten me, but I respect her wishes. We've arranged to meet at the beach on the day of our final doses. I'm feeling anxious. I hope it's worked and she's happy. I lift the medicine to my mouth and take the final dose. I close my eyes as Trixie requested and wait for her to arrive. It feels like forever, but finally I hear her approach. Human? Oh non, je l'ai appelée Guidette, fuck. I mean, Guidette. Her voice is the same. You can open your eyes now. In spite of my fear, I open my eyes, and as soon as I see her, I'll let out a gasp. Ouais, avoir su qu'il y aurait une super belle finale avec chaque chapitre comme ça, je leur aurais donné des noms vraiment moins cons. I have regrets. Well, you're human. Yes, this awkward, bald, clumsy body is definitely not feline. Are you disappointed? Obviously, we spoke a lot about whether it was the right thing for her. Might she miss being a cat? What things could go wrong? I was more worried than her. Trixie takes everything in her stride. It will just be another part of the adventure, Humi. I had never really thought of the possibility of her not liking being a human once she had transitioned. Suddenly, I'm scared she thinks she's made a mistake. Are you? Am I what? Disappointed in me? That's when I really look at her for the first time, standing in front of me, the tiny calico cat that I have come to know so well. Only she's not that cat anymore. Instead, she's a beautiful human with milky skin and wild hair. Still delicate, but strong and fierce and wonderful. I'm utterly under your spell. You could never disappoint me. Good, because I intend to stay by your side for the rest of my one and only life. We take a step towards each other, and then we're holding hands, and then we're spinning round and around, our heads thrown back, hair caught up in the wind, and we laugh. I love you, Trixie. Still spinning. My name is Belle. A pleasure to meet you, Belle. As we slow to a stop, I realize it's time to come back down to earth. You know, we're going to have to make some big decisions now, Belle. Belle beams. Big decisions? Sounds stupendous. What kind of big decisions? Well, where to live would be a start. We have to choose one way or the other, island or mainland. Ah, mais elle a un spot cool, par exemple. C'est quasiment la seule qui a genre une maison sur l'île. Elle a sa caverne avec les sources de toutes différentes couleurs, là. On s'essaye-tu Island avec elle? Qu'est-ce que t'en penses, Mel? Island or mainland? Island! C'est tellement plus son genre, là. Ben, je sais pas. Elle a un spot cool, là. Stay on the island. Ah, ok, ça reste comme ça. Peut-être que ça va faire reckless. Peut-être que ça va faire un petit blurb à la fin, là. Bon, là, je pense que c'est Major. Major Floofy Butt. I'm standing in the forest where we agreed to meet, feeling a little woozy. I sit on the stump of a tree and swallow my last dose of antidote. It turns my stomach, and I have to take deep breaths to stop myself from retching. Oops. I suppose this is how Ravenpaw must have felt for— Oh, okay. No, Major? Ok, juste pas. Ben, je pensais qu'elle allait la laisser pour la fin, elle, parce qu'elle risque d'être spéciale. I suppose this is how Ravenpaw must have felt most of her life, taking medications that were meant to make her better, but in fact made her feel so much worse. I wonder how she's getting on with this. She was totally insistent that I don't see her during the process and that we should only meet on the last day of our treatment. It's been really hard staying away. I've had to fight the urge to go looking for her and check that she's alright. I close my eyes as promised and wait for her to approach me. After a short while I hear slow, measured footsteps crunching through the fallen leaves. I'm a little paranoid that it's the professor or Zane, but I decide to keep my eyes shut regardless. Finally, I feel a delicate cold hand on my shoulder, and somehow I instantly know that it belongs to Ravenpaw. A shock of excitement runs through me as I realize that this means the antidote works, not just for me, but also on fully transitioned cats and half-elders. I'm here, I guess. I'm so happy to hear her voice again. We spent so many hours sitting together going over every detail of what transition might entail. Not just the physical changes and possible difficulties, but also the feelings. It was a far more risky decision for Ravenpaw than any of the other cats. Ben oui, parce qu'elle est moitié elder. She has never been human. Oh, also. Ouais, ça aussi. We weren't even sure if it would work for her. J'avoue, hein, c'était comme crissement un risque d'essayer de donner ça quand elle était à moitié chat. What if it caused trauma or injury to her, left her deformed or debilitated? I replay our last conversation in my head. Do you think I'll still feel like a cat, trapped in a human body? Well, none of the cats said they felt like humans trapped in a cat's body. It will probably be the same the other way around. We can't know in advance, unfortunately. If you're not sure, then let's just wait until more is known. Now, I've made up my mind. I want us to be together, and to be free to do anything we want to do. We might travel the world together. Oui, elle a jamais été humaine, elle a des piercings. Ouais, ils ont tout un look déjà. Tu sais, je pensais à ça aussi, je l'ai pas dit, mais Trixie, comme. Genre, clairement qu'elle a des mèches. Genre, ses cheveux, ils ont pas repoussé. Ses mèches sont encore correctes. And now, here she is, fully transformed. Well, aren't you going to say anything? Ravenpaw! Yeah, well, I was thinking about that. I don't think the name Ravenpaw suits me so much anymore. I guess I should have a human name, right? A human name now, right? So I thought, what about Miranda? I smile and slowly open my eyes. Oddly enough, she looks exactly as I imagined she would, with raven black hair and those beautiful eyes, one brown and the other blue. Oh, on voit pas que ses yeux sont odd-eyed. Oh. Miranda, you look human! Well, that's a bit of a backhanded compliment. No, you're beautiful. How do you feel? Strange. It feels familiar, yet it can't, can it? I don't know. Maybe you feel your parents within you, your bloodline. I definitely have a strong sense of my mother. Like, I remember her more clearly. She was a wonderful woman.
Ouais, il aurait pu lui rendre un peu plus justice, ça. Ben, Ravenpaw, elle avait comme un peu un style dans le sens qu'elle était vraiment au courant de la culture humaine, là, elle lisait de la poésie, mais elle connaissait la musique aussi, comme... J'ai l'impression comme si les assistants y avaient comme montré, genre, la culture humaine déjà. Fait qu'elle avait comme déjà comme des goûts. Quand on s'ostinait sur la musique, elle avait déjà comme une espèce de style pis de goût. Je sais pas.
And so are you, Miranda? No regrets? No. In fact, I feel like I've come home. Does that sound weird? I reach out and touch the silky hair, moving it away from her face. She catches my hand and kisses it. Thank you. I step towards her and wrap my arms around her. Miranda, there's just one thing. I feel her body tense. What? I won't have to change my name to Ferdinand, will I?
Miranda and Ferdinand? Is that a thing? Peut-être? Je sais pas.
We both start to laugh, more from relief than anything else. We know we have each other now, and life will never be quite as scary or lonely again. So, Miranda, will we be adrift on this island forever? What do you mean? Anywhere is home with you, but I still have to ask. Where are we going to live? Here on the island, or are we going to start our lives together on the mainland?
Moi, je dirais mainland, parce que tantôt, elle a comme dit qu'elle voulait qu'on travel the world. Ouais, c'est ça. Oui, yes. Alright. Alors, on va pas la laisser sortir là toute sa vie, pauvre cocotte. Je me demande pourquoi qu'on finit avec lui.
It's been nearly 24 hours since I stopped being able to communicate with cats. It's made me feel so cut off and powerless. What if something has gone wrong with the Major's tradition and he has no way of letting me know?
Ah, voilà. Merci, Dranziard. Ferdinand, le prince de Naples. Dans La Tempête. Je l'ai vu, La Tempête. Je l'ai vu en pièce de théâtre, mais ça fait genre vraiment longtemps. He falls in love with Miranda.
After I took my penultimate dose, I was already 100% back to human, so I have no reason to think the same won't have happened to him. I'm just winding myself up. I should breathe the way I was taught to during Professor Popper's yoga classes. I'm sitting by the Major's tree, the place we agreed before we went our separate ways. I keep turning the Quakestone over and over in my hand to steady myself.
Ah, c'est vrai, c'est avec lui qu'on l'a trouvé, la Quakestone.
I think back over the discussions we had leading up to his decision to take the antidote. He's so sensible. He preempted every possible outcome and talked me through how we would deal with them. I wonder why I'm still so nervous. I guess he's a fairly old cat, and I can't bear the thought of him being in any danger. My heart is pounding in my chest as I drink my last dose of the antidote and close my eyes to wait for him to arrive. Within minutes, I hear footsteps slowly advancing until they stop right in front of me. Major clears her throat. Before you open your eyes, I feel it is only appropriate that I make a speech to mark this momentous occasion, when men first invented the wheel. I can't stop myself from leaping up and flinging my arms around the man who has been my best friend for 6 months, though I feel I have known him a lifetime.
Aw, you're a monocle. You're a monocle.
Major, you're human, I can't believe it!
Il s'appelle Guido, of course. Floofybot. Oh, pourquoi qu'on l'appelle Floofybot tout d'un coup?
Floofybot seems to wipe a tear from his eye, or perhaps I imagined it, and clears his throat.
Yes, as I was saying.
Much as I love to hear your speeches, can I suggest we talk as we walk? We're meeting the others at camp, and we don't have very long to get there.
Tu vois, c'était Dude, Dudette, Guido, Guidette, puis après ça, c'est Percy puis Percinette, genre. Surprise party?
Major, how did you know?
It was one of the benefits of being a feline. Marvelous hearing.
You don't mind, do you?
Having a party? Well, it certainly wouldn't be my choice, but one has to be a little gracious, I suppose. Actually, I meant losing the feline hearing.
Oh, that? Swings and roundabouts, my dear. I certainly am looking forward to gaining mastery of a pair of thumbs again. That's a good trade-off, if you ask me. Well, I'm responsible for getting you to this gathering on time, so chop chop. Don't want to be late. Ah, very good, Guido. Efficient timekeeping is an important quality in a teammate. Teammate? Indeed. Is that not what we are going forward? Perhaps I have it wrong. And I see an unfamiliar look of uncertainty cross his whiskered face. It is sweet and touching. No, not wrong at all, Major. We are, as you so eloquently put it, teammates for life. One last thing, if I may. Anything for you. I would prefer to be called by my human name from now on. I remembered it, which was rather pleasing, so I thought we would use it. Tom. Major Tom? Aw, ground control to Major Tom. Aw, just Tom, I think. Then Tom it is. So Tom, there's a very important... En plus, comme, il arrêtait pas de parler du dude qui chante. Ground control to Major Tom. Voyons, Bowie. Comme, on n'arrêtait pas, avec tous les personnages, je pense qu'on a eu des discussions sur David Bowie. C'est excellent. It's Major Tom. So Tom, there's a very important issue we need to discuss, and I'd rather do it while we're alone. He stops and looks at me with a furrowed brow. Okay. What was it? Don't look so worried. I only want to know your thoughts about where we should start our new life together. Ha, yes. That is a ticklish one. Where, here or on the mainland? I'm really not sure, but I do know that as long as my life is shared with you, I will be contented. Good, I feel the same. And I link his arm as we wander off into our future. Il est tout le temps derp dans son portrait. Tout le monde est fucking derp dans leur portrait. Je sais pas, pour moi, il y a juste Ravenpaw qui a de l'air plus belle dans son portrait, ce qui est un peu triste. Je dirais mainland. Je sais pas trop... Comme... Genre, il aime ça explorer, là, mais je sais pas trop s'il serait vraiment heureux de rester là tout le temps, là. Mainland, alright. Il y a juste Trixie qui va rester. Mais sa fille pis sa caverne est tellement cool. The end? Oh non! Ah, c'est tout? Dude plus prudence. Dude était Connor. Guido et Major. Guido était Belle. Dude était... Ok, oui. Percy and Stan. Purnell and Miranda. Yay! Everything in its right place. Damn! 65,7% de la game. Je sais pas, hein? Ça me semble que c'est pas gros. Ça me semble que c'est pas gros. Mais ça doit être parce que j'ai juste vu 11 sur 18 endings, mais tous les autres endings sont mauvais. Et voilà! Je pense que c'était ça. Fait qu'on a pas de temps. On n'a pas tant leur origin story, mais ça me... The end! Shit! Ok, bon, il y a peut-être autre chose. Ok. J'ai leur manque de origin story. I'm woken in the middle of the night by sounds coming from the living room of our apartment. I guess instantly it's Kibbles, or rather Stan, as he's known these days. I have trouble getting used to the new names. On habite tout ensemble, holy shit! As I enter the room, I jump at the full-screen image on his PC monitor. Snooty Booty with fangs, blood dripping from them down her chest, a mad wild look in her eyes. What the hell, Kibbles? Name? Oh right, Stan, what the hell is that? I know, awesome, right? Is this your project? He's been working really hard for his finals at art college. Oh shit. He's making a graphic novel about an island full of war cats who begin to eat the settlers who invade the island. I think he may have some unresolved issues, but he insists he's fine. Yup, got loads more to do. Would you put a pizza in the microwave for me? Are you sure midnight snacking is a good idea? Yeah, I'm starving. Okay, but let me make a salad to go with it, and I'll join you. You can show me the new artwork. Cool. Grab a couple of beers and let's put an all-nighter. We can work on our cosplays for MangaCon next week. Oh yeah, c'est clair qu'on va à MangaCon ensemble. What the hell? I don't have to go into my veterinary practice tomorrow, and I can't resist the thought of getting a preview of what Stan's wearing next week. Oh. He's been keeping it under wraps for weeks, teasing me about how he's going to take first prize in the competition. He's really good at cosplay, so maybe he will. We've been off the island for... Oh, fuck, on une conclusion tout le monde. We've been off the island for a year now, and although it's taken some adjusting, I couldn't be happier. Stan keeps me on my toes, he makes me laugh, and he stops me from becoming too much of a stuffy scientist. We've got a cat too! It was his idea. When we were administering the antidote to all the cats on the island who wanted to revert, we discovered that there were lots of litters of kittens who had lost parents and needed rehoming. Stan... Oh my god, y'en a plein qui ont fait des bébés, pis leurs bébés peuvent pas se retransformer, genre. Pis les parents sont comme ciao, bye! Je sais pas. C'est weird. Stan wanted to take an entire litter. We'll have a full raid team! That's cute. I insisted we only take one. No one knew how any of it was going to work out. Apart from the abandoned kittens, there were also parents who discovered they couldn't cope with so many children once their litters has been rehumanized. Oh! J'ai-tu 48 enfants? Fuck! For a while it was chaotic, but the island is like one huge family, really. We all started adopting and fostering, and in the end, no one was left uncared for, not even our little fella. When we relocated, Stan said it would be a shame not to take him with us, our own piece of island living on the mainland. So we have a perfect little family. Là, je suis comme pas capable de catcher si son chaton c'est réellement un chaton ou s'ils ont adopté un enfant. Sometimes we talk about returning. When we're old and want a quieter life. Ouais, parce qu'on va être loin de MangaCon si on retourne à l'île. Not so quiet, according to the letters I get from Zane and Neko. Oh, ils sont retournés. Apparently there's a cocktail bar and everything there now. I'd rather have a beer here with you. You're just a big old softie, really. Aren't you, Kib? Stan? He pretends to ignore me and focus on his work, but I see the corners of his mouth curl up into a smile. Ah! Nice. Je suis toute contente. Oh. Oh, on dirait un stage. I don't think I've ever felt more frightened in my entire life. I would gladly go through everything that happened on the island 10 times over than stand in front of these cameras. When Prudence asked for my assistance with something at work, I assumed she wanted me to bring her a coconut chai latte or something. I could never have imagined this. J'imagine qu'elle, genre le coconut, à cette heure, c'est sa shit, là. On en veut partout. Oh, for heaven's sake, dude, would you relax? You're supposed to look professional, not perspiry. I'm sorry, Prue, but I've never modeled before. I've never even worn makeup before. Anna, more powder! Do hurry before our model melts into a puddle on the floor. One of Prue's many minions dashes around me, swatting at my face with a round fluffy thing, causing clouds of powder to fill the air, making me splutter and choke. Pour moi, il est rendu editor-in-chief de Elle magazine. Darling, the cover is geek chic, and who would be more perfect than you to be the face of it? Now please, be a good little scientist, stand up straight, and stop sweating. Maybe try looking seductively at that beaker. Oui, c'est ça qu'on fait toute la journée, les scientifiques. On séduit des beakers. Prue, this is hopeless. I couldn't look seductive if my life depended on it. Au contraire, mon petit chouchou. Prudence is every bit as persuasive as Snooty Booty was. Becoming human has not diminished her sense of entitlement one jot. What Prudence wants, Prudence gets. I may as well give in and face the music. I feel myself blush as I try to romance the glass flask in my hand. Yes, perfect. Now tilt your head and look inquisitive. Excellent. Now perplexed. Sublime. Now enlightened. Overwhelmed. Yes, darling. Caress the Bunsen burner. Look through the microscope. Beautiful. Lovely. And cut! That's a wrap, everybody. Shall we lunch? She's turned to me, but I'm busy finding myself with the prop clipboard. The heat from the spotlights, the 6 inches of makeup, and good old-fashioned embarrassment have made me feel like I'm roasting alive. You were marvelous, quite the natural. Of course, I knew you'd be perfect. I feel like I'm in a steam bath. Anna, blood the model. Anna wafts around me again, mopping my face and neck with a moist cloth. I try to swat her away, but she's more persistent than a wasp on ice cream. That's enough, Anna. Now leave. I was so nervous. Why do you worry yourself so much? Nature has provided you with all that you need to effortlessly command a camera. Your greatest strength is also your greatest weakness.
Oh yes? What's that then?
You think too much. I suppose it's a good thing I'm a scientist then and not a model, isn't it? I see no reason why you cannot successfully be both, darling. She's always so certain of everything, and almost always right too. It was her who decided we should leave the island and make a fresh start on the mainland. I was wary of everything we'd be giving up, but Prue wouldn't hear of it. There's nothing here that we can't have on the mainland, and better too. You're just being a scaredy cat. She was right, of course. I was scared, but I knew that wherever she was going, I would follow, and here we are. We have a wonderful life together, apart from when she gets mad ideas like trusting me in front of a camera. Come along, dude. I've booked us a table at Katya's for lunch. Sushi? Of course. It's your favorite, and you're my favorite. As we walk out of the door and she links her arm through mine, I beam from ear to ear. I really did get the cream after all. Ah, the cream of the crop. J'ai juste des scientifiques qui datent des beakers. Le ballon volumétrique ou le voyons. We call them. Ou le voyons. La colonne graduée? Le quoi gradué? Oh, man. Le cylindre gradué, wow. Le ballon volumétrique ou le cylindre gradué. It's been a long day. Oh my god, it's like McMurphy. Work on the mainland is a lot faster paced than on the island. It's taken me a while to get used to it, and my stress levels still get quite high by the end of the day. Ouais, le Erlenmeyer. Faudrait pas oublier. I'm grateful for the chance to unwind this evening in my local authentic Irish bars, O'Cara's, which just so happens to be owned by my very own King of the Emerald Isle, formerly known as McMurphy. You guys. Dudette, your timing is, as ever, impeccable. I've something for you, and it won't wait. Is it a hug? 'Cause I need a hug. Oh, Cara, I've always got one of those for you. Come here to me. I swear I can almost hear him purr as we embrace. Aww. And now, without further delay, drum roll, please. One of the regulars starts pounding out a drum roll on the counter, which ends in a crescendo of whoops from the punters as Connor produces a glass from behind his back and lifts it high into the air. I give you the gift of alcohol. You don't say. Hang on now, Cara, this is no ordinary drink. So I see. The glass he's holding up is an elaborate affair with some fruit, foliage, and a sparkler. I've made this in your honor, and if you give it the seal of approval, I'll add it to the menu this very night. I called it Curiosity. 'Cause it didn't kill the kitty? I'm touched that he remembers how much I pined for a proper cup of tea on the island. I probably winged quite a lot about it, now come to think of it. So I try to be gracious and grateful for his efforts. Looks great. I give it a suspicious sniff and am immediately hit with a sugary sweetness. What's in it? That's for me to know and you to figure out. Go steady with it though, that's the only hint you're getting. Okay, here goes. Slide. Just Pokemon dire ça. The whole bar shouts, slide back at me. I close my eyes and take a sip. Oh my goodness. The strangest feeling has washed over me. It tastes like the beach? He's right. I have been utterly transported back to the coast of Cat Island. It takes my breath away. But how? Well, you see, Kata, I had a little help from my friends who were only too happy to ship over some of the rarer ingredients. Oh, nice. Mana, the nectar from the heather flowers. Oh, I knew I could taste it. You have Mora and Mason to thank for that sweet treat and the sparkle of the life water. Damn, ça va nous garder jeunes toute notre vie, ça. Uh-huh, that's the lift, but there's something else vaguely familiar. Ooh. I suddenly feel as if my throat has been set ablaze and I'm convulsed by a fit of furious sputtering, much to the amusement of the rest of the drinkers around me. And that be the grog. He thumps me on the back until I regain my composure. Crikey, Connor, that's strong. Slanche? Cheers. Oh, slanche. Oh. Good.
Va falloir que je le retienne à cette heure.
Well, there's method in my madness. I figured I might have a better chance at success if I got you a bit squiffy before I popped the question. Question? What question? The entire bar has become silent and all eyes are on me. My sweet angel. Connor has jumped onto the bar and is lowering himself onto one knee. I feel myself being lifted by half a dozen hands and suddenly I am up there with him, my heart lurching into my throat. My darling Cara, would you make me the happiest man alive? He has pulled a small box from his breast pocket. And do me the honor of... Time has stood still. Donning me cladog. Do what? Wear my ring. He opens the box and inside is a huge clunky gold ring with 2 hands holding a heart. Wait, come here. For cladog. I'm taken aback by the sheer scale of the thing, which has for a moment rendered me speechless. Come on, Kara, use your words, you can do it. Everyone has by now dissolved into fits of laughter, including me. You crazy Irishman, are you sure? I have never been more sure of anything in my life. Then, I would love nothing more. We embrace and the pub erupts into whoops and cheers. McMurphy places the ring on my finger and I feel like the luckiest person in the world, and also like my arm might disconnect from its socket from the sheer weight of the thing. Oh. Oh. C'est peut-être un anneau genre qui a été passé de sa famille sur plusieurs générations. An Irish wedding! C'est vrai. Oh yay! Oh, je suis vraiment contente qu'on a pris la décision de rester dans l'île avec elle parce que ça veut dire que ça se passe dans sa caverne. Sa caverne, c'est la meilleure. Ah! I'm happy. Sinon, on aurait été dans un appart, genre. Ah! It's so much easier to reach Trixie's cave since the path was made. In only 1 year, the island has been transformed. Our end is like a proper village now. Oh my god, ça veut dire que si je veux voir les options alternatives, faut que je recommence. Crise de jeu de marde. Mais ils ont probablement toutes comme des options alternatives. Aw. Okay, our end is like a proper village now, with a shop, bar, cafe, school, and of course, Belle's alternate therapies. I'm coming today in my lunch hour at Belle's insistence. Your aura is way overdue for a cleanse. There's far too much green. And that's a bad thing? No color is bad, it's just unbalance. You still lead too much with your heart. We need to keep your head level with it. I'm a scientist, Belle. I'm all about the head. You're a vet now, actually, and you have the biggest heart on this island. That honor goes to you. There's not a person or cat here that would disagree. Shh. She has begun her cleansing. I'm lying on a very comfortable massage table and looking up at the ceiling of crystals shining and twinkling. The effect is hypnotic. Ouais, moi aussi, j'aimerais ça recevoir un massage là-dedans. Oh yeah. Her cave has developed into a wonderful, magical therapy space. It's a contrast to the now high-tech establishment in what we still call base camp, full of labs and veterinary surgery, the best equipment and machines of every kind. This place, though, is more like a sanctuary and has proved extremely popular amongst our growing population. Ça, je suis sûre que sur le mainland, elle serait comme ouvert une clinique, là, mais ça aurait tellement pas été aussi cool. Trixie never ceases to amaze me. It seems almost daily she has learned something new, read an article or book, taken an online course that continually expands her field of expertise. She has us all meditating and breathing through our chakras. Just this morning, one of the children asked if they could hold some rose quartz while I did a routine blood test. They said it helps the vein expand. We're all learning. We've left the far end of the island intact, and there are safety markers which clearly outline when you're crossing into Elder territory. It's a mark of respect rather than segregation, an acknowledgement that the island belongs to them as well as us. Much better. Am I balanced? Do you feel balanced? There was something missing. She looks a little hurt. Oh, I did my best, Humi. Elle m'appelle encore Humi! Sometimes I think she forgets that she's a Humi now too. And you did it beautifully, I feel great! But you said, I didn't mean with me. I am 100% balanced and shining like a rainbow, look! I stand on one leg with my arms out. Perfectly steady. You look like Percival doing his yoga. This only thing missing, the thing that would balance us completely is... I take a deep breath. A kitten. Or 2. Or 3 even. Oh, je pensais qu'elle allait l'embrasser. Yeah. There's a split second when neither of us breathe, and then suddenly Belle has launched herself at me, knocking us both over. Yes, 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 do all 3! Triplets? Triplets! When we were administering the antidote to all the cats who wished to be rehumanized, we discovered that there were lots of litters of kittens who became children. It was difficult for the parents to cope. We were already like one large family anyway, so some of the adults adopted some of the children, and it just worked in a haphazard island kind of way. There are 3 children whose parents have not been found who are ready to leave the hospital. I've thought how perfect they would be for us, but I wasn't sure what Belle would think. It's a lot to take on. Comment ils vont faire pour savoir que les chats vont être réhumanisés si on les entend plus? Bonne question. Now, puis, ouais. De toute façon, c'était des enfants, ils ont jamais été des humains. This is confusing. Now, lying under the twinkling crystal sky of her cave, I have my answer. It really has all worked out better than I could have wished for. Oh, c'est tout, on va adopter 3 kids. Wow. Puis ils vont rester sur l'île, pis c'est là qu'ils sont nés, pis... Oh. I'm really excited but nervous too, waiting for Ravenpaw to come on stage. Actually, stage is just a small pool of light in the darkened back room of a pub in Camden. She's been doing the performance poetry circuit for about 6 months now, and already she's getting a bit of a reputation. This is the 3rd booking she's had this month. I know I'm partial, but she's very talented. When we first made the move from Cat Island to the mainland, I was worried she would regret leaving her roots and all she had ever known behind. Raven, or rather Miranda, as she's called off stage, was insistent at Raven, c'est son stage name. Was insistent, and she put forward a good case. All this place has ever been for me is loss, grief, pain, and ugliness, until you came along. I want us to start with a fresh page and write our own story, without everyone else's dirty rubbings out. So we left and moved to Camden, a houseboat to be exact. It can be hard work, but we love still being a bit of an island, surrounded by water. I've got my own small veterinary practice, which I love, and of course, I'm still chair of the board for Cat Island. That keeps me on my toes. They've grown and progressed so much there. Well, this is me. We've all gone quiet, all eyes on the beautiful, moody-looking poet. And this is what I do. Invisible. Can I ask you a question? It's not a big deal. I just want to ask if you ever feel like you can't find a place that fits your shape, nowhere to sit, or to lean, or to drape. A corner to curl up, safe and warm, a fireside, a bedroom, a mess, or a dorm. A place to belong where you lay your hat, a kennel for Fido, a lap for a cat. It's not something real you could reach out and touch. It's more how you feel, not feeling as such. Not a mood or emotion, not a thing you can name. A sensation is closer. Ugh, this sounds lame. It's like something is missing. Yeah, that's what I mean. There's a hole in the place where I should have been. The applause goes on for a long time, during which Miranda finds me in a small crowd and half smiles. My heart skips as the applause continues. Aww, that was cute. Oh my god. Sebastian, Ornacia, Frederica. It's almost lunchtime. We have to go meet Daddy at his office. Oh, tabarnak. Chance que Major a fait des bébés. 2 of our triplets scramble to their feet and dust the dirt from their clothes, but Frederica is still crouching, elbow deep in the sludge. Hey, I found something. She digs ferociously until she produces a small dirty brown chalk from this end. Will Daddy want this for his collection? She hands it to me, and as I try to rub it clean with my thumb, I see a golden hue shimmering through the grime. I'm sure you find this very interesting, Frederica. Let's go quickly. You know how grumpy Daddy gets when his lunch is late. Oh my god. We arrive at the treasure chest at 1:30 p.m. on the dot. I still find it surreal that the Major has his very own antique dealership. Ah, c'est vrai. Il était intéressé par les antiquités. We come bearing lunch. And treasure! Treasure, eh? Let me see it. Freddy hands him the grubby chunk. Goodness, this is very interesting. 24 karat, if I'm not mistaken. Where did you find this? I took the kids mudlarking on the Thames. What is it, Daddy? Well, it seems to me to be a tooth. A gold tooth? Let me see. No, Daddy, give it to me. Hush now, children. Let's all look together. Now, if you look closely, you can see this was a maxillary lateral incisor. Obviously. I can't help but smile as I watch the Major lovingly teach the triplets we adopted. Ah, on les a adoptés. Mais tu sais, ils étaient roux pis ils sont tous roux. En tout cas, ils les ont peut-être comme adoptés genre « Hey, les 3 kids là, ils ont vraiment besoin de parents, wink wink! » Non, je les connais pas là. It was really for them that we decided to move to the mainland. Major wanted them to have a more conventional education than the island could offer. Conventional education. Personally, I'd rather like the idea of everyone pooling their talents to form a teaching collective. Ah, sur l'île? Ouais, j'avoue. Ça devait être cool quand même. I refuse to allow any child of mine to be taught science by a part-time arts and crafts maker. He was referring to Neko running an ANC workshop on her days off from the lab. Oh, come on. Ça devait être sa job d'étudiante. I didn't want to push too hard at the time. He'd already compromised on so many things in order for us to be together, and I felt this one may be a bridge too far. So we packed up and headed towards our future. And what a future it turned out to be. London life suits Tom. He even enjoys the cosmopolitan flavor of the city. The triplets adore him, and he dotes on them, indulging them far more than I would have suspected. C'est sûr. Sorry, Daddy Gato. We do go back to the islands for holidays. It's still the most magical place, but nothing compares to our little house in the city and the life we've made here. Ah! Ah! So cute. Il nous manque-tu quelqu'un? Ah! Bon, c'est-tu the end pour vrai, là? Un sugar daddy, ouais, vraiment. C'est un grand-papa gâteau. Ah, credits. Game by the Bay Team. Yay! Fait par vraiment beaucoup de gens, comme vous pouvez voir. Fait que c'est pour ça que c'est pas parfait. Mais, en tout cas, the writing is excellent. Very good job. Very, very good job. Et voilà! C'était Purrfect Date. Je suis tellement contente, on a comme eu du closing pour tout le monde. Ouais, this has been a trip, en esti. Je sais pas si je peux rejouer la game puis faire d'autres comme décisions, genre. Non, c'est ça. C'est fini, you guys! Ah, ok, ouais, non, c'est juste la même affaire que tantôt. Ok. Je me demandais si elle allait comme me donner le choix de genre choisir Mainland ou Island. J'aurais pu prendre les autres puis voir c'est quoi leur vie, mais en tout cas, bref. It's fine. C'est fini! Fait que le jeu que j'avais commencé à la Saint-Valentin 2019 est enfin terminé. Merci d'avoir suivi l'aventure. C'était une fucking ride, that game. Mais ça valait la peine. Je suis contente d'avoir pris le temps de refaire le jeu au complet à chaque fois qu'on s'était fourré. Parce que ça valait la peine, c'était excellent. Ah, la musique est excellente, là. Je vais tellement me rappeler des tunes avec des miaus dedans, là. Miaou! 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 Ben, ça fait plaisir. Merci à vous autres d'avoir suivi dans ce trip-là, parce que, comme... Moi, c'est clair, je voulais savoir comment ça finissait, là, mais... Bref, comme ça, vous aurez pas à le faire vous autres même. Tout le monde va savoir comment ça finit, et c'est fucking glorieux. On a 6 belles familles et ils vécurent heureux et eurent vraiment plein de minous. Ou des enfants. Ou des minous. Ah, yay! Fait que, ben, bonne soirée à tout le monde. Il y a 11h, fait que je vais y aller. Je vais retourner voir si mon minou à moi voudrait peut-être pas rentrer à la maison à cette heure-ci. Hein? Puis, ouais, that's it. Fait que, bonne soirée. Bonne nuit tout le monde.
à la prochaine. En fait, à jeudi, si vous êtes là au podcast jeudi. Bon jeudi, Mélissa, qui est sa game. Vous pouvez aussi regarder Mélissa barre en bas TR, qui joue à Donjon sur stream, sur Twitch, les jeudis soirs. Bonne nuit!